did he die of fries? Just
No,
fries.
but he did
Fries.
pass away, actually.
Oh, that's not funny anymore. Yeah, that stopped being funny. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all good.
But they were endless fries.
They really were.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
All right, looks like we got 4 watchers now.
Excellent.
Hey.
Uatu?
And here we go,
Uatu, one of
kids.
them?
And we are live.
Oh.
What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the League of Extraordinary Cult Pop Podcast.
Yo.
Episode 18, Legacy 819.
19.
A show where we talk about movies, TV, games.
Comics, food, news, friendship.
I love how you
Sports,
yes-anded me. I appreciate
racism,
that.
Wu-Tang Clan. What up?
From what I understand, it's both sports and the Wu-Tang Clan are forever.
We also explain how brackets work.
We also
Yes,
explain
we
how
do
brackets
explain
work.
Brackets.
Pretty much anything that scratches your nerdy itch.
Like
We're-
brackets.
like brackets. Brackets can be used to scratch. We're coming to you live from Manayunk Studios, our home away from home, Philadelphia's premier production space.
Yay.
This is where we live now. This is it. I'm Noel Bartocci, frequent patron of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A super rad comic shop which caters to nerdy and nerd-adjacent individuals of all shapes and sizes and creeds and genders and all that stuff. With me tonight are...
Hey, it's Brian Lieb.
And directly next to you sits...
What's the deal? It's your man, our son, the voice of reason, Super Triple in the building. What up?
Over here to my left would be...
I'm producer Terry.
And the better person next to you is...
Yo, what's up? Holla at your boy. This is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble.
You may notice that someone is slightly missing. Completely missing?
No, he's in the chat.
Oh, slightly
there.
missing. But emotionally here in my heart.
Right here.
Under the weather. But we're going to carry on.
Already
without him.
talking shit.
And I swear to God. All the thumbs down are JD in the chat. But that's fun because behind the camera, who will probably mute him eventually, is Dylan, the CultPop Kid. If there's anything wrong with the show, remember, it is Dylan's fault.
And, of course, he's crushing it. And it's more like executive producer Terry because Dylan really is the producer of this show. Attaboy, Dylan.
All right.
Attaboy, Dylan!
EP Terry, producer CultPop Kid Dylan. Before we get
Terry
to it
just
tonight,
gave himself a promotion.
Yeah.
I did.
I think that's what it was all about.
Before we get into it tonight, I'd like to thank all the listeners for being here with us, including JD. Thank you for being here with us. Whether you're watching live or checking it out later, if you dig what we're doing, please comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when we go live, and add more content throughout the week. Additionally, we want you to engage with us, so jump in the chat, pipe up, say something nice, send emails. Speaking of emails, we did receive one based off of last week's? Yesterday's?
That's
good.
good.
Yeah, that was last
Time is a flat circle. The last show that we did, from...
You mean we got letters?
We got letters.
Yeah, letters.
We got
Lots of letters.
Hey, gang. It's your boy Charles in Chattanooga, a.k.a. Hal2814. 2814-2814.
I always say 2814 when it's the sector.
All
That's my
Okay,
traditional
so-
way. Yeah.
Very
So you know what? I will start this over. Hey, gang. It's your boy Charles in Chattanooga, a.k.a. Hal2814.
Here's the
as in
thing.
the sector.
Ooh.
Even if Charles in Chattanooga calls himself Hal 2814, because Brian said it's Hal 2814, it's Hal 21814.
Thank you, Len.
So Brian has seniority over identificator?
In all things Green
Identifiers?
Lantern, yeah.
In all things
Yeah.
One
GL?
of the things,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shut up. Carry on. Hal2814, a.k.a. Green Lantern Tribble, what's up?
What up?
What up?
After watching part 1 of March Madness comic book movies, hint, this week is part 2, I got an idea for a new game. Just pick a certain year and pick like 5 movies that were most popular for that year, and everyone's guess which one Brian has actually seen.
I like the idea of this game. I like this.
We probably could do just top 5 of that year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's it could be just like a pool betting of like who
Yeah.
thinks Brian saw this one.
I
or
like
this one, or
this.
this one.
This
Yeah.
is good.
This is a
Side
great
bets.
idea.
Side bets.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Also, hearing that Randy is a D&D player, I want to know if he's watched Legend of Vox Machina, and if so, his thoughts. Oh, and you guys to accept
Brian, I got a feeling he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Which is odd. I don't know how you got that feeling, but true.
I started reading.
I've not seen it.
I started reading that too fast, and I thought like for you guys to accept Brian. Like, Brian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I accept
It's
you.
very nice. I really appreciate all of that. Thank you.
I started watching Vox Machina. Dude, I haven't finished anything except like Superman and Lois. But nah, I like that show. It's goofy. It's very goofy. It reminds me of some campaigns I've played in my day. It's a little bit extra with some of the extra stuff they've been doing, but it's fun. It looks like it. I haven't got up to season 2 yet, but I was enjoying it.
You've been watching that too, right?
Yeah, I watched it. I actually did finish season 2. It is goofy. It is fun. It's harmless. I'm not a D&Der, but I'm familiar with the world at least a little bit, so I get some of the references. But for the most part, I'm going in there blind. And doing that, I enjoy it. I recognize that they're trying to make it, slightly adult. Well, not even slightly.
Extraordinarily adult.
Yeah, they're leaning in on that. It's dumb fun. It's not it's good animation. To
Yeah, it
which
looks
is
great.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Is it
First thing
animated
you
or
add.
live action?
yeah,
It's
no, it's
animated. It looks
animated.
fantastic.
It's animated, and it's animated like much in the style, maybe a 3 or 4 ticks higher than something like Invincible. Did you watch Invincible?
Oh, yeah.
on
Yeah, I
Amazon?
really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's probably on that line. Maybe a tick higher in the animation and the character design.
But hand-drawn?
Oh, that's cool.
Hand-drawn-esque, I guess, is better to say.
Hand-drawn-esque, Yeah.
As
It
opposed
reminded me
to...
of Avatar, actually. That's how I felt.
Who
to
drew
me.
Avatar?
The style?
Well, Avatar.
Oh, Avatar the Airbender.
The Airbender.
Yeah.
I was like, James Cameron, wow.
Yeah, but you know what?
No.
It's not as, but the animation is not as good as Avatar. It's good,
Yeah.
but it's not as good as Avatar and like Korra. Like it's probably more closer to Korra in their animation, which
Okay.
was like a tick below.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah. All right. I
Avatar.
see you on that.
But it's dumb fun. It's dumb
Yeah,
fun.
it's
Is there
cool.
any hint that they are because they actually played this game and got the stories from that, or is it just straight like in the reality? Of
No,
the
it's just
world
straight
that they play?
fantasy. It's
Okay,
just
cool,
straight
cool.
fantasy. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
See, JD agrees. It's very Korra.
Nice.
Did the second season take 13 years? Like the second Avatar? We're still
No.
talking about that, right?
No.
Was it all motion captured?
No, no.
I've never seen it, but I am super excited about the D&D movie.
Yeah, the movie looks dope.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
genuinely
can't wait.
cannot wait for Dungeons
The
and
reviews are
Dragons.
coming in hot.
Right?
Oh, nice.
I know.
Everyone is
It's
talking
soon,
about it.
right?
I am going. I don't know
Okay.
if y'all saw that there's like a special screening on this Tuesday.
I did see that.
No, not this Tuesday. This Sunday.
Every single screening is either while we're recording or I'm covering
huh.
the shop. It's the 19th, which is a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Sunday
It's
afternoon.
Wednesday night, the following Wednesday night, which we're all here. It's
Oh.
like every single time there's a screening,
Boo.
I can't go. And
Dude.
I'm
That sucks.
I feel a way about it because
I
I really
got-
want to see this
They
movie.
did.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a
I actually got notification for the press screening so that I could go to the press. With the press screening is on Monday, but then I got the notification for the Prime screening,
Yeah.
which is on Sunday. But I'd have to pay for those tickets.
Yeah.
I'm paying.
Oh.
I
Wow.
bought my
Nice.
tickets.
Oh. I-
I am going that Sunday at 2 o'clock in the
Man,
afternoon.
I still want to go. I'm doing the.
You can go. I mean,
no.
just leave, lock the shop, come back in 3 hours.
yeah, right.
Hi, JD.
I'm doing the Monday mystery movie again for
Oh,
Regal,
okay.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the 20th,
Mhm.
and like part of me was just like, I really wish it would be Dungeons and Dragons because I already have a ticket, but whatever.
Oh.
A lot of people are making comparisons to the first Guardians.
Good.
Oh, that was good.
That,
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
All right.
appropriate.
Yeah, that would work.
And it looked like the
Of like coming in, a preview, kind of funny, but not overly
Yeah.
funny, and then the
Yeah.
actual
Right.
movie just blows you away.
Yeah.
yeah.
Give me that.
I like that.
I was just excited because I saw an owlbear on the commercial. And I was
I
like,
remember
and
you
if
said that.
I was like, that's a motherfucking owlbear. Like, okay, y'all went straight. Somebody opened up they fiend folio and was like, owlbear.
Well, I liked the audacity too that like what seems to be the main character is a bard whose special thing is playing the lute.
Right.
Like it's not
Yeah,
it's
he's
not
not
a
like
knight
the
or a
guy with
paladin
the
or something
sword.
like crazy.
Just
It's literally just like the guy.
Well,
Just
and
the
also I
bump.
like the way they're setting it. I mean, they're pre-universing it because this one's the one about thieves. Next will be the one about paladins. Then we'll go wizard. You know what I mean?
If
Like,
they wanna
in
go
my
that route, yeah.
opinion, I think that honor amongst thieves is going to be the sequel will be the bravery of a paladin, and then the next one will be the
That's the way
blank
to
of a
go.
blank.
Oh, the
I like
wi-
That's a great way to
Wizards.
keep it going.
The blank of
That
the blank.
Wizards one.
I mean,
Blank of the blank.
and honestly, no offense, I think it looks kind of cheap. So I bet they could crank one of these out every year. Just keep that money train going. Go, baby, go.
You know what? I will fight you on it looks cheap. I think it all looks consistent. Like the world looks consistent.
Oh.
Like not just like one really good special effect and then just like one janky one. Like
Oh, sure.
They went with the-
I
they
wouldn't,
went
I
with the
wouldn't knock
vibe.
the consistency. I would just say there's some plug-in effects in there.
oh, it's not Avatar level.
That, yeah, but good. Make a lot of them. I hope it makes a lot of money, and I hope more low-budget shit, comes in and does really well.
Yeah.
That you're not expecting.
Speaking of low budget shit, what you guys been up to this week? Let's start with you.
Me? Yep, no
How you
problem.
doing?
I've been up to lots of things, but the most important thing I was up to is there was a new Super Mario Bros. Trailer that dropped
God damn
that I have been enjoying this week. I watch it 6.5 times before bed. Why and a half? Because the middle point of that trailer is excellent because they introduce a brand new freaking character to Mario, which is Fire Flower Donkey Kong. Where
Yeah,
Donkey
I
Kong
saw
gets a
that.
fire flower,
Yeah.
and Seth Rogen nails it. He just goes, fire!
Can we get a
And then just starts
timer
throwing
up
fireballs.
so we know when to cut him off when he's talking about Mario?
No, I'm good. I will never. And anyone with press passes to that, I wouldn't mind getting one of those.
I clear your day for opening day. I will straight up go with you, and we will.
Oh, I
freak
would
out.
love to.
Yeah, because my wife
That would mean so much
not
to me.
interested whatsoever.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll come back after and we'll lay it down.
Oh, I'm in. I'm super in.
But to tell you the truth, that is what I've been enjoying this week.
Nice.
Len,
The trailer to that's what you've been enjoying.
I watch it every day.
hey, you know what? We're not gonna yuck anyone's yum.
6.5 times.
No, I
is
think it's
20
beautiful.
minutes, right?
I think it's beautiful.
Len, what you been up to this week?
Well, what I've been up to is chicken and a biscuit.
It was
Bro.
the food.
Now-
It was the food.
Are
What
you
does that mean?
are you aware of chicken and the biscuits?
I'm aware of it, but I've never
No.
tasted one.
So when you
I'm
said
aware.
you said I've been up to chicken and a biscuit in the chat, I was just like, is this edible, watchable,
It is
readable,
edible. This-
listenable? What is
I
this?
was in the supermarket this weekend and I passed.
Are you sharing those?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm handing this out. I
Excellent.
passed the cracker aisle and I saw chicken and the biscuits. I was immediately 10 years old in my grandmother's kitchen because up on the cabinet next to the Ritz were chicken and the biscuits, these crackers that purport to taste like chicken. And
You ain't getting these back there.
my girlfriend had never heard of them, right? So I was like, "How you never heard of these?" So I had to buy them to prove to her that these were crackers that say they taste like chicken. Now you're tasting them. Do they taste like chicken?
They taste like
No.
powdered chicken soup.
That's
I'll give
where
you
she
that all day.
landed. The chicken soup. There's
They
the
taste
essence of
like
chicken.
Campbell's chicken soup powder.
Mhm.
It's
Was it
like the
always spelled
spices.
that way?
Yep.
It's always been spelled that way?
What do you mean, chicken?
No,
Yeah,
biscuit.
But yes, chicken has
No.
also always been spelled that way.
Biscuit has always been spelled that way on that box. That's not how you spell
I was just
biscuit.
saying, I was just curious.
no. Like as a brand, it's Biskit.
Yes, the brand is.
I've never heard of these. Never had them before. I mean, that goes hand in hand, I guess.
I guess you might have had them and nobody
That was
told
a
you what cracker
that
it
was a hat on a hat. Yeah, maybe somebody slipped me.
Yeah,
a
you
chicken
didn't know
and a
that
biscuit.
what they were.
Yeah.
Never
wrong.
knew. Tasting it now did not open a sense memory that I.
Yeah,
was-
yeah.
yeah. Those are weird.
They're weird,
They
right?
are weird.
They're not bad.
I would crush
Yeah.
that whole
They're not
box.
bad.
No problem.
But I will never crave them. However, I
Oh.
could
I will
crush it.
only
I could
crave
straight
them
crush
now.
it.
Now.
When I was at Penn State,
I got to get
I had him back in the day. Hadn't seen him for years. I'm up at Penn State. My man Craig, shout out to Craig. I don't know where he's at, but that was my dude. Yo, he rolled up in the room with a box of them. I was like, oh shit. I was like, where you get them Jones at? He was like, we had they down in McClanahan's. Me and this, we bought like 6 boxes of these Jones. We was crushing these things for weeks, bro.
That's what
Oh
you
my
do,
God.
man.
Can I see the ad on the back?
Uh-huh.
Easy
They're
cheese,
ridiculous.
Oh,
Salty.
they're in with easy cheese.
There also
Yeah,
might be a
cool.
bonus joke in this episode. Go back
No.
to right when Len said crack and watch me flinch. It was like, pow!
The Krakow.
That's for the TikTok. Remember that, Dylan. Mark that, Dylan. That's
Mark
for the
it down.
TikTok.
Randy, what have you been up to this week? Oh.
So I've been able to sleep much this week.
Hmm.
And so
Oh, I'm sorry.
I told myself, you know what I'm going to do?
Stay up.
Watch something
I'm
real
a big
tense.
fan. I'm a big fan of Luther.
Real
The
tense.
show on Netflix. And I was like, all right, let me put this on. This will put me to sleep. So I was like, I need to go to sleep.
Right, because the new movie.
The new movie, Luther Fallen Son, has just come out on Netflix. I wanted to watch the old episodes, but they're on Hulu, and I got to pay for them, and I ain't paying for them. Anyway, I put the joint on. Completely just entranced. 4 o'clock in the morning, I was like, damn it, this movie's over. I need some more Luther. It's so good.
All right.
If you haven't seen, if you're not a fan of Luther, the show originally started on Netflix. It's on Hulu now. Idris Elba is a
No,
cop.
what was the
It's a
BBC
BBC
show?
show.
It was a
BBC
BBC
yeah,
show.
it was on there. Luther, John Luther, he's a cop in London. And an amazing detective. This guy understands everything and figures he's the worst human being in the
Yes.
world.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
man's such a dirtbag. Oh my God, he's terrible. But the show is just captivating and really, really impressive. So they just did the full movie. Andy Serkis is in it, and yo, that thing it's ugly and terrifying and weird and amazing. You gotta watch it. If you're a fan at all, and you know it's Driss. Everybody loves Driss. Whatever. Luther Fallen Son is that work.
My girl is in there, Cynthia Erivo.
Oh,
I have to. I've only seen the first episode of Luther.
Yo, that show
I
is
can't dive into the movie, which is essentially season 4 now, right?
5.
Season 5.
But like,
Do you
like
need,
season
do
3
you
and
need
4
the
were like
series to watch the movie?
You really
No, you don't.
You
You
really don't because it. All you really need to know is that Luther is a very like he said he's a fucked up human.
yeah,
Fantastic cop.
yeah.
But he's a fucked up human in the way that all the best shows where their personal life is all fucked up because it's all about the mission and catching a criminal and getting their brain and all
so
that.
he's Batman.
Right. But
Yeah,
to
but
the
like-
point that he actually stands on a roof like Batman.
Yeah, he does at one point.
When
Yeah,
he comes back,
Yeah,
like,
he
he
does.
With the coat flowing.
Yo,
Yeah.
because like all the best cops, he has a signature coat.
Yo,
that he puts
his
on.
signature look. He's got his coat, his burgundy tie, his burgundy tie. Yo, he's a bum. He's got his haircut's terrible. Like he's not like Idris Elba. Idris Elba. He's like,
No.
Alice.
yeah, he's a mess, dude. He's a yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God,
Alice.
he's a nightmare in this movie. But
JD's popping up in the chat. First of all, he asked, "Can he come to the movie with us when we go see Mario?"
Yeah,
I
man.
suppose. Sure.
No, somebody's got to watch the store.
Yeah, who's gonna watch Shop? Who's gonna watch Shop, man? Also, he says Luther is, as Rand would say, that work.
it is. It really
that work?
That work. Yo, you man. Whew, that shit was wild.
Brian, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, you know what? I have not watched the Oscars in many years. Also
Oh, why?
this year.
You don't
Yeah.
like movies.
I also
No.
watched that.
I
Good
disdain
call.
them.
Yeah, you don't watch movies. You just watch award shows.
Yeah, that's the only part. Yeah, and I don't want to see the movie beforehand, so
No,
it
no,
spoils it.
no. Just award
About
shows.
the
yeah.
little clip that you see
Yeah.
during the awards show. And I don't really care in general, but when a movie that I like wins something, I'm like, oh, cool. That was pretty cool, right? So I wanted to make note of the fact that the very first sci-fi movie of all time has now. There have been previous sci-fi movies. This is the first one to win an Oscar for Best Picture.
And the first one you've seen.
Yes, I've seen some of everything everywhere. I haven't seen everything.
God,
You know.
I haven't seen everything
No.
of everything everythhere all
Not
at
all
once.
at once.
all at all
No,
time.
no.
At all time.
But, there have been a lot of really good sci-fi genre films in the past. None have ever won for an Oscar. And I think it's pretty cool that one finally has. And
Yeah, I know that technically it is, but in
doesn't
my
feel like
brain,
it.
I do not classify it as a science fiction film.
No, it's
Really?
like-
That's the most
I mean, it's
sci-fi
most
thing
fu-
ever.
Because honestly, it is just a plot contrivance of the movie. The movie is not about the sci-fi.
Well, but that I think is why it's Oscar worthy.
And that,
And I think that's why a lot of films are
worthy.
Oscar
Maybe
worthy.
maybe
when they
worthy's not,
transcend.
maybe worthy's not
their
the right.
genre.
Maybe worthy's not the right word so much because there's been a lot of like movies that are pure sci-fi that were probably Oscar worthy. It's just more like maybe
Blade
that's
Runner.
what got it in other people's minds to consider. Yeah, because it's
I
I love that movie.
I also really enjoyed for the first time in a decade watching the Oscars.
Yeah, we
It was
watched
fun.
too.
I thought they celebrated movies.
Oh, that's cool.
I like the format.
nice.
We watch it on and off every year. This is the first year in a very long time that it stayed on the whole time. The format changes were great. Historically, it's been like the second award is supporting actor, and then supporting actress is not until the end of the night. Like they would always separate the show into like 2 chunks. This year, they chunked all that shit together. Actor and actress in one chunk.
Well, I'll tell you what,
short,
I wasn't
short
gonna
and,
watch.
and long form in one chunk. Documentary, short and long in one chunk. They did it all efficiently.
I wasn't gonna watch, but on YouTube, they were releasing winners, and boom! As soon as short round won, it was like, oh, I'm watching this whole fucking thing.
Yeah. That
Oh,
I mean,
it was
the
beautiful.
moment of the show.
Beautiful.
The moment of the show was Shorty and Indy hugging on stage.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
all
I
right,
saw that
fine.
clip of
That's
that.
all I care about.
That was
How
nice.
did they not have
Yeah.
Harrison Ford present that Oscar?
Because
Come on.
because it doesn't land if dude doesn't win.
Do you remember when Scorsese
yeah.
won, and it was Spielberg and Coppola that gave it to him?
That was kind of.
I would have wanted that again, but I'm still happy.
But
There-
like when they came up on stage
Oh.
and they hugged, I was like, oh my god, it's Indy and Shorty together. Give me another movie right
There's
now.
a couple of really good moments like that. So I guess apparently during the whole, like all the nominees and winners end up, especially like the year before, end up doing tons and tons of like luncheons and press stuff beforehand. So apparently, Ke Huy Quan became really good friends with Ariana DeBose, who won last year. And when she said his name, she started to cry before she even got his name out because they've become really good friends and knew how important it was to him. And she broke down before she even finished saying his name. That was 10 minutes into the program. And from that moment on, it was just like, this is awesome.
Set
And
the
then,
tone.
and then also, too, because of last year's occurrence, because normally the actor winner from the year before presents the female and vice versa. But because of what happened last year, they had Halle Berry and Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain.
So only 2 women of color have ever won Best Actress, and one gave it to the next one because of Halle Berry,
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
which is something that wouldn't have happened. Like everything just kind of, and then same with the like having Harrison Ford hug Short Round wouldn't have happened. Like it's just a lot of really cool little things happened this year that you can't necessarily
That was all I cared
manufacture.
about.
Can't play it for.
That made me very happy.
As a video dork, that was the world's hottest editor. The guy who won Best Editing. That's an attractive man. And I
Wait,
was
what-
like, all right, go us.
I
We're
thought you meant
getting
he was
better
really
looking.
good at editing.
Now, mind
I'm
you,
saying.
this is coming from a very attractive man.
Aw.
Another attractive editor in
guys should join
this
a- start a
specific
club.
union.
I was gonna say, like, is it just a hot editor union?
No, it really was. And I thought I liked his speech.
Elite editors.
Only editors.com. It's just dating for
Only
editors.
editors.
Only editor. That's right, baby.
How do you feel about Super Mario Brothers?
That's
Only
right.
editors.com. Anyway.
Hey, Noel,
Hey, yeah.
what you been up to this week?
I was not prepared for that question, but I think that I could just come up with something really quick. I saw the biggest movie this past week with JD called Scream 6. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but 5 previous ones. It's a movie about death and killers. So we're very big fans of this series, JD and I, and we decided let's go to this thing called a fan event. So we got to see it a day early, and it just so happened to be in 40X. You guys know 40X?
Yeah, that's when. Is that when like it's the whole atmospheric?
It's 3D and everything
Yeah,
moves.
like, right.
and
Water effects, too.
water
All that
effects
kind
and
of
wind
stuff, yeah.
effects. And so it's like an immersive
Somebody
movie.
walks up
Right.
and kicks you in the nuts. Like all
cool.
that.
You know what? Kinda. Movie aside, it was an interesting experience because I understood the process of 40X as being like something to go see an action movie in. Because when a car moves, your
The
seat
shaking
moves.
or-
When
right.
it's snowing, it's snowing. But then I was like, what the F are they going to do for a slasher flick? At first, it was jarring as hell. Because, like, like somebody opens up a cabinet and it's a shock. The seat, like, jets back.
Oh, my God. A literal jump scare.
Yes.
The chair does.
And there were subtle things too. So like if there was a long camera pan through a room, the seat would mimic the camera movements. So you were actually kind of like floating through the party,
Oh shit!
which subtle and cool. And then there were times when it just completely ripped me out of the
I'm about
movie.
to say.
So like somebody runs in one corner, the chair goes like this and like this, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. When Ghostface is chasing somebody and swiping at them, you'd get little like slashes behind your ears, a wind kind of and a noise. So you're literally hearing like near misses behind you. When people get stabbed, you get punched in the back, like little like jets in the
You feel
back.
like a little.
Yeah, I was
There was
about
a-
to say
there
that
was a
as a
scene-
joke. They really did it.
There were scenes when somebody gets like stabbed in the back, and there was a little prod,
Oh my god.
like to get you. It wasn't painful, but it was enough to like okay, blood, water splatter.
Yeah.
It was awesome, but also awful, but then awesome again. I don't know if I'd ever do it again for this kind of movie, but it was really effing interesting.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah,
I
like,
wouldn't have thought that they would have gone to that level
That
of
can go
immersiveness.
so wrong.
I
That can go so
Yeah.
wrong.
At-
I actually
like
lost
the punch in the
During-
back one.
Man. Yeah,
J-
Yeah.
it was literally just kind of like it wasn't even that hard, but it
Yeah.
was enough to kind
Yeah.
of
Dude.
get you in the moment.
yeah.
You're not hard is somebody's.
Yeah.
Oh my neck,
Yeah.
my back.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
It's fair. Also, too, I found out
I'm a
after.
lawyer.
So like I had it was in 3D. Also, the 3D, no point to it,
Why?
just because the whole experience is like
It was
3D no matter
4D,
what.
you had
And
to get
so
through the one.
I don't know why the movie was in 3D because there was nothing 3D about it.
Ugh.
They didn't even do like dumb shit like with a knife. No, No, it just wasn't really 3D.
Grabbing
made
you.
to be
But
3D.
because of the immersive experience and like blood splatter every occasion, I had to keep cleaning my glasses. And it wasn't like the 3D glasses. It wasn't until the lights came back up that I noticed there was a fucking button on the chair that said you could turn the water effects off. And I hate everything because of that. But the movie was fun.
I did
It was really fun. It wasn't as good as 5 for me, but it was really good.
I did a 40x. You had to because it was like a special showing for the Batman.
Oh.
Nothing happens, and then the Batmobile, and then for the whole Batmobile chase with the Penguin, you're in it, and then nothing happens.
Interesting.
Nice. All right.
So I kind of liked it because
Yeah.
it was like, oh shit, I forgot I was even in this.
Huh.
I wasn't super impressed with the like with jump scares. I was most impressed with when we got to that first like crowd scene and the camera's just like slowly moving through and your chair's just kind of going with it. I was like, okay, this is
sounds-
cool.
That sounds
That's
awesome.
a really really
Yeah.
cool way to do it.
So, what would be the most 40K-able movie?
Probably some sort of Marvel movie. JD had told me he'd done it before for Hobbs and Shaw and said it was awesome.
I would say Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, bro.
With that
Blowing.
chair, dude.
Moving around.
So I did see it in
Yeah.
IMAX and it was insane in IMAX. So yeah, I could see that maybe being kind of
Top
crazy.
Gun Maverick is a good one.
I had more explosion. I think like just debris movies. So I'm just thinking like a Marvel movie. I guess I'm not sure.
I was thinking maybe Die Hard.
That'd be cool.
If you,
Why?
Because there's so much like, he's running. He has to jump off the building, so you can almost feel like maybe the chair lifts you. And you're kind of like floating. The breaking of the glass. I don't know how you could maybe make that work, but maybe if you all of a sudden it feels like you're stepping on shit. I don't know. And like Die Hard is the first thing that like came to my mind.
I'd have thought Gravity.
The
Same
movie
thing.
Oh,
Gravity.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you could kind of, when you were saying that you're kind of lilting through, it might be hard to replicate her feeling, but you could maybe do something. There's a lot of like sudden movements in that too.
Gravity perfect for the subtlety,
Yeah.
but there's no bombast to that movie. So any other kind of effect I can't really think of. But it made
Yeah.
me think
Yeah.
Inception. Inception would be perfect.
Hmm.
You've literally got weird
Inception IMAX would be perfect. You're
Well,
right.
like the 40x
Because even
thing. like,
tilting up to see the.
You've got
40x isn't IMAX as well.
No, it's
No,
just it's just
oh,
large and moving. But either way, like it's got crazy explosions, so you can have debris flying at you. It runs the gamut of seasons. There's a snow scene. There's like
Yeah.
the crazy rain thing. Literally, when she's building the city in her mind and stuff's blowing up, like that would be cool. And then the whole entire sequence where everything flips upside down. I think something that's got it all would be like the best.
Sounds
one.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of debris flying at you, and there's just a guy just throwing stuff in the
Yeah.
ground.
It's like foam bricks.
Listen, the power went out today, so here's Jerry.
Jerry's here.
Well, they used to do.
Throwing Legos at people.
They used to do that shit in the 50s for matinees. It would just be a
Legos
guy
and
behind the
squirt
screen with like noisemakers and stuff, or
Well, yeah.
buzzers under your seat and shit.
That's
They-
true.
Yeah.
Legos and squirt guns.
Let's hope James Gunn's Superman will be a good 40x. Let's fly
Ooh,
all
that'd be cool.
over.
That was
Yeah.
that was announced
Was
today.
anybody surprised?
No.
I was like, oh, did he
That
not
he
announce
decided
this?
that he was going to direct
Yeah.
that.
Oh, not
He was-
really.
they
Oh, I
was like-
thought that was the plan from the beginning.
No, well, so
He never
the
announced
idea
that,
was
though.
they were like, he said they had mentioned it before, and then they were like, yeah, we're doing this, and we don't know who's going to direct it yet.
Mhm.
I think it's
But
just.
I might.
And then he was like, oh, by the way, like,
Yeah.
really?
Personally, I think it's just honestly, I think it was just maybe like a contract thing. He was commissioned to do the script, maybe to direct, maybe not. That's a legal issue that we'll deal with later, but let's announce it.
My God, he could set up an. Sorry, can I ask a question real quick
Yeah.
before we get into the thing? What villain does everybody want in the James Gunn Superman movie?
Brainiac.
Brainiac is
I think
what came
everyone's
to my
gonna say
mind as
Brainiac,
well.
but
Yeah.
I want something like Parasite or Lobo, something
Hmm.
crazy that I've never seen in
Nobody's
any
here
kind of
for a
way.
Toy Man.
I
No.
watched Toy Man movie.
No,
It's James
No.
Gunn. He could do Mr. Mixel-Pitlick.
He could.
I-
That'd
so-
be
He
interesting.
could also
No,
set him
I don't,
up.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. No, I don't want him doing
He
that.
could also set
I
him
don't
up,
want
Yeah.
anyone
Because
doing
he's
that.
way too. No,
but he could set him up in
Hold on.
one,
I don't
and he
know.
shows up in
So
like
the only thing
No.
that
because he's been there all along.
I don't trust him doing that.
the only thing that he
I
is
can see that.
the only
He
thing
would
that
take
he has
way
said
too far.
Yeah.
the only thing that he has said about the movie is that it's dealing with the aristocratic father and the farmer father and what
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
person comes from that.
Yeah.
So to me that means it would be some sort of cosmic and or
Actually,
Kryptonian born
I
kind
would,
of thing.
I wouldn't mind him waiting on Brainiac.
Yeah, I want Brainiac to be like a bigger later thing. Like,
well,
so
then you
I
get
wouldn't mind a
Candor.
Parasite. Parasite wouldn't be bad. If you saw the animated one, Man of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Something I could deal with something like that. Yeah.
You know, it'd be interesting is
or
if it's not
Metallo.
a villain. This is unlikely, but something, just like something is happening that, like the Sun Eater, maybe, or some.
I would worry.
Disaster
I would
that
worry
he
about
needs to worry
Superman
about.
Returns comparisons.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say Superman Returns because even though there was technically an antagonist,
Yeah.
it was really just a land grab.
Or just make it Lex.
That's it. Lex Luthor's
Just make it
his
Lex.
whole deal. Every movie
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
like
give
a
me
real
good
estate
Lex.
guy.
I don't mind
But
that.
put him in the armor.
Oh, that would
Lex
be
in the
interesting.
armor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
I-
saying for the first one.
I wouldn't mind that at
I
all.
mean for
Also, Ironmonger.
going off of James Gunn,
That's how they started Marvel.
going off of how James Gunn usually kind of approaches this, I don't think any of us even know, or he's probably going to
No.
pull something weird or seemingly esoteric, and then
I
That'd be
would-
cool. Like somebody
yeah.
from the future. or
I
something.
just want something new.
Yeah.
Give me Vartox. Give me.
I want
something
something
goofy
new.
like that,
Sure.
man. But not like I don't want him going like James Gunn goofy because James Gunn goofy is. That's why. Mr. Mixer. I'm like, nah. I
think
don't trust him to do that.
I personally think
But
he
I think-
understands the assignment, and it's not necessarily to be a goofy,
yeah.
but to be an inspiring, pretty,
But if he's gonna
emotional
give me Vartox, I
And
want
fun.
like full
fun.
thong and vest Vartox.
Oh, sure.
Obviously.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. You know,
Duh.
Luthor with Bizarro could satisfy the stuff that
Oh,
he was
that's
talking
nice.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to see Bizarro in the
In the first
one.
movie.
I would also save
Oh.
Bizarro for a straight up, this is our Frankenstein. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Have him
yeah.
lead off the horror parts
You mean-
of
But-
these
but have
scenes.
Su-
Frankenstein, the creature
See,
commandos.
I wouldn't want Bizarro because I want Superman first to establish who he is in
Yeah.
our world for 1, 2, maybe even 3 movies before a Bizarro that's the anti.
Well, that's what I was
that
thinking
Superman
could
shows up.
establish who he is. Like his identity is in mirror of this,
Mm.
you know, other guy.
Maybe he'll get drunk in a bar.
Yes.
And, then have
And
to
none
find
of the
himself in
other
a
people in the
junkyard.
bar would really seem to notice even that he
Uh,
was there.
Sam C in the comments said that bromance is strong with this podcast. I'm not sure who this
Facts.
person is, but I think I
Sam
love
C.
her.
How do you know it's her?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam can be anybody's name.
It's, it's just a real strong guess.
That's interesting. I bet it
Real
was the
strong
C that
guess.
tipped you off.
Yes, the
Yeah.
C took me off. If it was just any Sam, who
Yeah.
knows?
Eh,
But I love them regardless.
that's nice.
Shall we?
Sex and gender are different. Let's go. So, main topic tonight. We're doing part 2 of the March Madness comic book movies, non-Marvel and DC part 2. So if you did not catch
That
last
was
week's,
the most awkward.
hang on, I'm gonna get.
That was the most white.
It's gonna. Well, what we're doing.
Where's that chicken in a biscuit?
Anyway, if you did not watch last week, we started
Previously on CultPop.
the first part of our massive March Madness bracket ranking of comic book movies. But in order to narrow down the entire crazy list, we took out all Marvel and DC movies, shared or not, just anything Marvel and DC IP. These are all comic book movies, not them. We started with 170 films, brought it down to 81, then ranked that down to 64. And last week, we did the first 32 of that opening round. Today, we're going to do the next 32. As a reminder how this works, I will introduce the matchup, and each person will provide their pick and a brief reason as to why they chose that as their pick. And we'll go in a snake draft order. For those that are not sure what a snake draft order is, let's say I start with Len, then it's Terry, me, Brian, Randy, and then Randy again, Brian. Blah, blah, blah. So we just kind of keep going back and forth until the whole first round is done. And next week we just keep going further until one true winner emerges, comes from the ashes.
And this would be considered the best non-Marvel or DC comic movie of all time.
Yes,
incontrovertibly.
Incontrovertible.
Yeah,
Cool.
I actually do
Okay,
believe
good.
that they will etch this in something.
It's going to
Perhaps
be
stone.
etched. Yeah.
Perhaps
Butter, maybe.
It would.
Those tablets down in Georgia. What are those things?
They're going
They'll
to
re-release it on
pull it.
VHS.
Oh, where they're storing they're like carving the world's knowledge into the stone tablets.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I was thinking they're probably just going to make an ice sculpture out of it, and you got like 3 hours.
That's cool too.
Yeah.
I like that.
You
Will
got
we
about-
be featured in
You
the
got about
sculpture?
3 hours. No, just
Damn it.
maybe names, just like
Yeah, just names is
I
fine.
wanted
Yeah.
my
How about
likeness, but-
we spell it out in chicken and biscuits?
Oh,
and
that's
then
a good
hot
idea.
glue it and frame it.
That's a whole lot of
for
wasted-
longevity.
That's a whole lot of wasted
wait. I
crackers.
do
over
wonder.
there.
I do wonder what the shelf life for chicken and biscuits are. Like, is
Yeah,
it
it'd be
same as like?
It'll be hanging right behind us
Yeah.
every show.
What's that smell? Shh, it's fine. So we're gonna kick.
Just chicken and a biscuit.
We are gonna kick off tonight. We'll start Randy this tonight.
Yeah.
So, first one.
Am I Randy this week too?
No. You're
You're
Okay.
JD.
Sorry, Tim.
You're JD this
Oh
week.
yeah.
I'll call you JD.
Here, let me talk off mic.
So Randy,
Yes.
The Crow, 1994,
Mm-hmm.
or Road to Perdition, 2002.
Oh boy.
As a reminder, these matchups were randomly selected
generated,
or
Oh,
randomly generated.
goodness
There's no
gracious.
seating.
And Dylan, do me a favor. Just type in the chat if we go over 7 minutes on any of these.
All right. Crow was lots of fun. Road to Perdition was a better movie. Tom Hanks was. I've never seen a movie where I was afraid of Tom Hanks.
No.
Right?
You've never
Road to
seen
Perdition.
what's the
Big.
Christmas movie
Which
with
one?
the train? Polar Express.
Polar Express?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
I've
but you're
seen
afraid
it.
of him for a
Listen,
different
I got,
reason.
I
than
got
that.
3 kids. I've
Scared.
seen Polar Express.
Scared.
No, I'm going Road to Perdition. He was a monster in that movie. Oh my god.
Right on.
Well, the Crow TV show I have seen, that was all right. But I have seen
This is impossible.
Road to Perdition.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes!
First one, starting off strong. I've seen it and I liked it, and I'm going to go Road to Perdition.
As much as I appreciate Road to Perdition, Sam Mendes is an amazing director. The Crow has cultural relevance for days. It is still a strong movie. It's probably Alex Proyas' best movie.
Oh, Dark City.
The aura of that movie is impenetrable, and will
Fire it up.
it's a no-brainer for me. It's The Crow.
I agree with Randy. The Road to Perdition is a superior film. So I'm going to go with Road to Perdition. Great performance by Daniel Craig,
Yeah.
Jude Law,
Daniel
Yeah.
Craig's in it?
and
thought
Paul
you saw
Newman.
it.
I
Yeah.
did, but I didn't know who
Paul
he was
Newman.
at
Paul
the
Newman
time.
was-
And I think
Yeah,
that's
he was
his
GM.
last movie.
I think it is. And it's
Oh, really?
it's the only depiction I know of the Irish mob like being a legitimate threat. It's not mafia, it's mob. And I think it's fun. There's comedy somehow they get in that
Yeah.
with the driving scene with the kid.
Yeah.
Did the kid go on to play Superman? Is the kid Superman from
A young Tyler Hoechlin. Yeah.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's Tyler Hoechlin, yeah.
How about
Well,
that?
there you go. And Superman's it.
Yeah.
But no brainer for me. That's probably in my top 5
Oh, sweet.
all times.
That's a fly.
You know, Paul Newman was the visual basis for Hal Jordan, I believe.
You do know also
Yeah.
too that he makes his own salad dressing.
He still does that?
Yeah.
I did not know.
He
that.
does.
Anyway, Len.
From
No one
beyond the grave.
Paul Newman never died. Look it up.
It's very true. Road to Perdition is one of about 7 movies that I watch every year.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
Love that fucking movie. Road to Perdition all day. All
Alright.
day.
I think-
And I agree with you, Randy. Tom Hanks, and I love Tom Hanks, but this may be my favorite Tom Hanks movie because he is just impenetrable in this movie, man. Like, you want to talk about wearing a coat as a cape?
Yeah.
He just looks so beast. And when he walks up to those guys in the rain and is just shooting out of the rain, it was one of the most amazing scenes ever. Sam Mendes put his finger in
I
it.
mean, I think we can probably call that an upset.
Yeah.
I believe that's an Oscar winner. I think that won for Best Adapted
I
Screenplay.
believe you are correct, or
Yeah.
for something. I don't know
could
what it
believe
was.
that.
Yeah.
Because it had to be, because when I found out it was adapted, I was like, this is a comic book? Like, it was
Yeah,
one
a
of
lot
those
people
movies.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
All right. So, Road to Perdition beats out the classic 1994 Crow.
Yup.
Sticking with Len,
Yes.
the next matchup is
JD, we don't know when to put it up.
The King's Man from 2021.
Okay, so this was the first one, right?
No, The King's Man.
Oh no, you're right.
No,
You're right.
but I mean, the
2021.
first one as in the prequel to all of it.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
Ray Fiennes.
But
Yeah,
I know
Ray
this
Fiennes
is
one,
Ray
yeah,
Fiennes.
okay.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
2021.
Right. Okay.
Or Men in Black from 2002.
Oh man. I actually didn't mind The King's Man that much. But Men in Black, come on, man. That is like, you want to talk cultural relevance and classic. It's Men in Black, like all day. Tommy Lee Jones having buckets of fun in that movie. Will Smith.
Height of his powers.
Probably at the height of his powers. Arguably one of his better films. Great chemistry between the two of them. Went on to spawn, I would say, a very underappreciated animated
Cartoon?
series.
Agreed.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the
It was
cartoon
good.
was fire.
It was really
A
good.
cartoon that
Yeah.
references the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fire.
Men in Black all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the same way, and I'm going to go with cultural relevance. And I actually really enjoyed The King's Man. Like, I really enjoyed the change that everyone said they saw coming a mile away. I did not see it coming a mile away.
Shh, I haven't seen it yet.
Are
But
you over a mile away from it?
Well, right now I'm like 2 feet from it.
But it's it's a great movie, and it's a great movie about fathers and sons.
Yeah.
And it'll hit you in the chops if you're a family person. But I'm gonna defer the same way that Len deferred. I think cultural relevance, your best Will Smith you're ever gonna get, the red button, and also
Frank.
Kingpin. Vincent
Vincent
D'Onofrio's
D'Onofrio.
performance.
I couldn't remember whether or not
So
that was
great,
him
man,
Yeah.
dude.
in there. But yeah, that
man.
is him.
Eggers.
So amazing in that.
Egger suit. Yeah, you know what? For D'Onofrio alone, Men in Black. Unfortunately, I haven't seen The King's Man yet, but
Please do.
even if it was A+, it might still go to Men in Black just for
The cultural.
the cultural relevance
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, Men in Black is a great movie. There are so many excellent moments in the Men in Black. In Men in Black, I have not seen Kingsman. I doubt that I would vote otherwise, but to vote for Men in Black, I saw a little while ago something online that was like, I feel like we don't talk enough about how Will Smith pulls the chair over in that scene, and and uses it. And when nobody else does that, and I was like, "Don't talk." That was the point of the scene. That was the cool aspect of that scene. That was the test.
That was amazing.
It was great.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
Men in Black all day.
Yeah.
that was a person is smart.
Oh,
People-
yes.
people are
Great line.
dumb, stupid
Great
animals,
line.
and you know it.
Yeah.
That book is way out of that girl's league. What is she doing holding the physics book?
Yeah. And that's like from like the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Who,
All of those
who
things.
published the comics?
Oh, I don't
Ooh,
know.
was that?
I looked this up.
I think it was an indie because I don't think it was
It
Dark.
was an indie. It was definitely an indie.
Because
But
I was going to say Dark Horse, but it wasn't Dark
I don't-
Horse.
No, I didn't think it was Dark Horse.
Oh, and it's got that great kind of ending where, it pulls out and the
Yeah,
whole
right?
thing is part of another universe
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah.
What next, man?
I think he's looking up who.
I am looking up the comic
IDW.
Men in Black.
I had the
I
sunglasses.
think IDW was around
Before
then.
IDW.
Cool.
I think they
Malibu.
Malibu.
Oh,
Okay,
all right.
right. Yeah.
Aircel Comics and then Malibu Comics.
You know, has anyone ever read the comic? I never have.
Me neither.
I never.
No.
Yeah, I would.
I don't
You
even
know?
know the names of these creators: Sandy Carruthers and Lowell Cunningham.
And the comic is much more in line with the animated series.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if
yeah,
you like
yeah.
the animated series, you'll enjoy the comic.
I did like.
The next matchup, Randy, thank you for asking, is American Splendor from 2003, about Harvey Picar, or The Losers from 2010.
I hate Harvey Picar.
Hmm.
That man bores the shit out of me. Like, oh God, are you serious with this fucking guy?
I would say yes about the comic,
And
but I liked the movie a lot.
I love The Losers.
Hmm.
I love that book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. The movie, they tried to do too much of it into one thing. But they nailed the characters. Chris Evans,
Awesome.
who was in this too, the king of the comic book movie. And there's a great scene where he's like pretending to be a messenger, and he's telling these guys that he's got like magic fingers and he can just shoot them, whatever. Meanwhile, his buddy is across the street with his sniper rifle, and he's like bang, bang, and his buddy shoot. Yeah, and he nails it. It's perfect.
Isn't that scene from the comic?
Straight out of the book.
Yeah.
Straight out of the book.
By Andy Diggle and
And
Jock, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
That
Awesome
was my
book.
that was
Oh.
my that was the my introduction.
That was
to
an
Andy
early
Diggle and
Jock.
Jock.
And
Yes.
honestly,
Yo,
the best
Best
Jock.
jock.
yo,
Really?
Because his
you
stuff
have to
now
read
is a little
that
too
book.
muddy, but that was
That
really good.
man, Losers is that's a
There are.
gem.
I don't know
I
if
love
there's.
that movie.
I don't know if they're still in print. They did collect it in
Yeah, it
just
was
two
collected
thicker
in
trades.
It was 5 first, and then it was 2. I don't know if they've just put it in one, John.
It literally should be a compendium.
I'd
Just like
punch
a,
somebody in the face for a Losers omnibus because that thing is
yeah.
bonkers good.
Please
dude.
don't punch me in the face.
Yeah, I think it would have to be the
yeah.
publisher.
And
or
I think
somebody.
the characterizations were good enough that it made the movie all right.
It's a charming movie.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Idris Elba was in it.
Yeah.
What's the guy?
It's the
Jeffrey Dean
Charles-
Morgan.
Jeffrey
Dean
Dean
Morgan.
Morgan.
Oh,
It's
Jeffrey
Zoe
Morgan.
Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
As the introduction of Zoe Saldana, I believe. I don't think there's a movie before that she's a lead.
Maybe not a lead.
Yeah, maybe not a lead, but yeah. I'm going Losers on this one.
I really like Paul Giamatti, who I believe was in American Splendor.
Yes.
Uh,
Did you see
meaning-
him in American Splendor?
no.
He didn't see any of these movies.
No, I
He-
didn't see The Losers
Either of
either.
these
But
two.
I wanted to see The Losers, and I kind of wanted to see American Splendor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you guys have any recommendations on, on how I should vote?
Flip
What
a
do you
coin.
think? You know what? I'll go with The Losers, I guess,
Okay.
because it looks a little cooler than, I don't know.
It's
So
not hard to look cooler than
Harvey Picar.
Yeah.
So I had never read American Splendor, but this movie came out in 2003. I was living in Orlando, and it was only playing at the Enzian Theater, which is this amazing independent theater in the middle of Winter Park. And we made such a big deal about being able to see it and go after the Florida Film Festival, and I adored the movie because it is a biography that leverages other multimedia.
Mhm.
They're literally, he breaks the fourth wall in comic form, walking through his own panels
Yeah.
with actual, and there's also like actual B-roll footage that they use during the movie. Like, it was, I feel like, as much as I do not care about American Splendor, the comic, the movie was basically a tour de force on how you could do biographies,
Yeah.
and I adored it. I love The Losers. I've watched that movie probably a dozen times, but I'm going to give it to American Splendor because I think it's the better movie.
I also think American Splendor is the better movie. Paul Giamatti's performance is excellent, and I can really recall moments from that film. However, I am going to go The Losers because that is a incredibly watchable movie.
Yeah.
Whereas it's appointment viewing to do American Splendor. You have to really want to do it. I was on a mission to watch comic book movies that were outside of my normal realm when I watched it. The Losers was, I need a B+. Just give me a B+.
Yeah.
And it's exactly that.
Yeah.
It delivers. So I'm going to go the losers.
I'm gonna go American Splendor, because I do agree with and UT that it is a better movie, and it does almost blur that line between biopic and documentary because of the way it's done. But I'm mostly going American Splendor, and I do love Paul Giamatti, but I'm mostly going that because I was a huge fan, like Randy, of the comic book The Losers. Loved it. Collected every issue. Still have the trades. But to me, the movie, I don't think did the comic justice. I don't think it captured the tone, at least not the tone that I was looking for from the comic, and thus it was a missed opportunity for me. And therefore I'm gonna go American Splendor.
The Losers should have first. Okay, Losers wins, but God, it just hit me like the Losers really. I wish it would have came out 10 years later as a show.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Because
Yes.
that would have
That's
blended
really what
instead of trying to like squeeze
Mm-hmm.
all that shit
Yeah.
into a 2-hour movie.
It really would have. And you felt them trying to set up a sequel, but it just didn't work.
I'd be surprised if it doesn't show up in a post The Boys world.
I would love that.
I mean,
would
It's
love
certainly
that.
worthy to be revisited. I don't think
Yeah,
people
I would
really
love
know
that.
the story like that.
Yeah, HBO Max would probably be like,
I
or
would
or
love
one
that.
of those.
Amazon.
I mean, it's owned
I
by
would do it.
Oh, that's right.
It's owned by DC. It's Vertigo.
Well, they're selling their stuff now.
They are selling their stuff. Yeah, we'll
Yeah, I
take
mean,
it.
the
Sell it to
Batman
Netflix.
is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Batman cartoon is going to
Just
be
put
on
them in the
Amazon,
Constantine
so it could
movie.
happen.
See what happens.
Next matchup. This is going to be a real barn burner. Len, I Kill Giants from 2017, starring Zoe Saldana, or The Rocketeer from 1991.
All right. Well, for this vote, I'm going to play my alter ego, Brian,
Oh.
because I didn't see I Kill Giants.
Yes.
But I did see The Rocketeer, and The Rocketeer, I appreciated what they were going for. I don't think they stuck the landing, but I got to give it the vote because I didn't see the other movie.
I'm going to go The Rocketeer because the same reason I love Captain America. It is unabashedly about doing the right thing, about justice,
Very
about
earnest
getting them
movie.
Nazis. It's earnest. I have a soft spot for those kind of movies who are unapologetically earnest. We're not doing it tongue in cheek. We're doing it. Our whole heart is out here on both sleeves.
Yeah.
I could take any of the goofy stuff because they set the tone, right? If some of that stuff came up in a hyper serious type of film, it doesn't fly. But the cast is wonderful.
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly,
Yeah.
Billy Crudup.
Timothy Dalton and
Timothy
it's
Dalton.
Campbell.
Billy, no, not
Something Campbell.
Glenn
Campbell
Campbell.
Scott.
Campbell Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like Billy Crudup.
Oh, it's not Billy Crudup. Sorry, thought it was. But eminently watchable movie. Same director as
Joe
Captain
Johnston.
America,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed the film.
Yeah. I Kill Giants is one of my top 5 favorite comics. I didn't finish the movie.
That
But The Rocketeer, I've seen probably 24 times. Saw it in the theater. Wanted all the toys. Even in the movie's weaknesses, the aesthetic and the design of the movie, like his secret lair is just the attic of a bar shaped like a pug.
Mhm.
This movie's beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love this movie. I watch it all the time. I'm gonna go with Rocketeer all day.
Even though I already said it when I was sitting over there, I have not seen I Kill Giants. But The Rocketeer is a phenomenal movie. I love it. I love the aesthetic of that movie. You know, the Art Deco futuristic kind of vibe is one of my favorite looks, and his helmet is fantastic.
Well, his whole character design
Yeah,
is amazing.
it's
I will say
great.
that.
Dave Stevens,
Yo, that
Yes.
jacket.
R.I.P.
Yes,
That
yes,
jacket.
yeah. He's got a cool look.
Yeah.
And that jetpack, not to be
Also-
ignored either.
Also, one of the best character names, Cliff Secord.
Oh yeah.
That's a good
Cliff
one.
Secord. That's
That
up
is a
there
good
with
one.
Peter Parker.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah.
God, why are there no more comics?
They just put out a
Well,
new
there was-
Rocketeer book.
Yeah, I fell
last
off like
year.
2 issues in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
not that
well.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going Rocketeer too. That
Don't have
movie's
Dave
awesome.
anymore.
That's awesome.
All right.
I want a jetpack so bad when I saw that
That
movie.
would've been
Like,
cool.
yo, somebody get me one of them.
Yeah.
I love that
Clint-
performance by Timothy Dalton, by the way.
Oh yeah, he was an amazing
Hammond.
baddie.
Let's go.
Timothy Dalton is a very underrated actor.
He is.
man.
He is great. And you only ever hear like, oh, he's the worst Bond or whatever. But he's
No,
awesome. In
And he's
so
also
many
not.
things.
He was,
Right.
he
Far
was
from
an
that.
excellent
Yeah.
Bond
He
in
was a
very
good
boring
Bond.
movies.
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
I Same
man.
thing with,
and he's
uh,
tall.
Pierce
I like how
Brosnan.
big he is.
He's very
Excellent
tall.
Bond, boring ass movies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's
Except
good in that
Goldeneye. Goldeneye was
horror
pretty dope.
Penny Dreadful. That was the last time
Penny
I saw
Dreadful.
him.
Hot
Timothy
Fuzz.
Dalton?
He peaked in Hot
Oh,
Fuzz.
he was
man.
great.
He was also in Doom Patrol.
That's right.
Oh my
Awesome.
God.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, he's great at it.
This next one will be a difficult split vote for different reasons, I predict. Randy,
Yes.
The Crow, City of Angels from 1996, or
Mhm.
Cowboys and Aliens from 2011. Both did not take the world by storm.
No, but
No.
I have a special Cowboys and Aliens for some reason. I enjoyed that movie. It wasn't great, but there was just something about it I liked. After the first Crow, I couldn't get into it because Brandon Lee wasn't there. So I watched 10 minutes of City of Angels. I was like, "You're not Brandon Lee," knowing it wasn't Brandon Lee, but I was like, "Yeah, nah." It's Cowboys and Aliens, and conceptually, Cowboys and Aliens
Yeah.
should be the like when
Cool.
you're
Yeah.
if you're an 8-year-old boy, it's like Cowboys and Aliens.
Well, that's why. It,
Holy
Duh.
it
smokes.
scratches
Yeah.
that itch.
This
Yeah.
should be life.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
why do aliens always have to come in a science time?
Yeah, right.
About, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
We
I'm going
live in a
Cowboys and Aliens.
science
This
time.
we
It's
live in a
science
science
time
time.
now.
Yes.
Cowboy time was not science
Or
time.
Exactly.
is it time of
There's no
science?
science in cowboy times.
No, they know
There
what they
was-
were doing.
There was elixirs and
Yeah, snake
rub
oil.
some dirt in it.
Yeah, right? It's got shirt. Yeah, rub some dirt on it and tie it up. You'll be
Brian,
fine.
I have a feeling I know which way you're going to go, but please verbalize it.
I bet you do. Have that feeling, and I also bet you're right about it.
Yeah.
I always meant to see Cowboys and Aliens, and it looked really cool, right? I did not always mean to see Crow City of Angels, so I'm gonna go Cowboys and Aliens.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait, were you right about what I went?
I was.
Cool.
I actually thought you had seen it though.
No, I meant to, and
I thought you had seen it.
I didn't. I didn't see it, and then it was out of the theaters, and in the ensuing years, I have not seen it.
There's a couple of movies that I was very young and obsessed with, to the point I don't know if you guys remember, anyone listening or watching that's under the age of like 35, the newspaper used to be the only way you can get like movie times, as well as advertisements for movies.
Mhm.
So in the Sunday paper or the Friday Weekender or the Sunday paper, they would have like full
Full page.
full
ad.
page ads or poster
yeah.
ads for movies coming out, and then little Showtime indicia on the bottom. I used to cut out movies that I was super excited about, and The Crow 2 was one of the movies I was really excited about, like a full color ad, and I cut it out and saved it. I was so excited for this movie, and it is so disappointing, so incredibly disappointing, and not because it's not Brandon Lee, but because the movie's bad. It's like a weird ephemeral movie that has no actual climax after, the first one that actually was a linear story. So like I really disliked it. Cowboys and Aliens, also not a great movie. Nothing but promise. Concept, director, writer, cast.
Yep.
This movie, everything
should've
on
worked.
paper,
Yeah.
it's like they had to try and make it boring, and they
And
did
nailed
make it boring. But I'm gonna give it to it because it's still like, it's probably it's an easier watch.
Yeah, I'll go Cowboys and Aliens. I like Favreau's directing, so I can see some silver linings in there.
Mhm.
I like the stunt casting of Harrison Ford, and I like the Daniel Craig's never not acted well.
He's an
Give him
excellent cowboy.
garbage,
Yeah.
he's still gonna
He's
act
still-
well.
yeah, he's
So
still-
that's why.
He's an excellent cowboy, but it was just a bad movie. Also, too, all of the design was great. The bracelet thing,
Yeah.
that was such cool tech. Wish the movie was fun.
It just didn't come together, and it should have. And this is the beauty of something like this tournament. It probably loses against a lot of these other movies,
Yeah.
right? But against the
Crow,
Crows,
City of Angels,
the City
yeah.
of Angels, it's like just keep it. Keep
It
it
has
moving.
swept
It's
the
so
Crow.
good.
You voted
It's-
unanimously.
It's
for it.
it's so weird.
There's got to be some producer bullshit in that.
Oh,
You think so?
something had to.
I think it was like
Like,
Brian
can you
Grazer
re-edit
and
it?
everything.
Can
too,
you
like,
recut it?
Maybe.
I got
But
a funny feeling
it was-
things just
Make it
kinda-
30 minutes.
But it was Favreau coming off of Iron Man 2, which also had a lot of the same narrative type of problems.
Mm.
So like maybe he just needed
I think
he just
I think
needed a
probably
failure
just
and, like,
needed a
knock
little.
back
He
up.
needed a Star
because
Wars.
also too his Lion King was really bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, maybe he just needs different formats. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
All right, Cowboys and Aliens takes it. Advancing to the next round.
Hmm.
Len,
Yes.
the next matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost World 2001 or Watchmen 2009.
Ooh, wow. The controversy.
What's up, Snyder, bro?
I'm really my thing is it's been like since it came out since I saw Ghost World.
Ditto.
And I kind of remember liking it, but honestly, how much I really remember, it wouldn't be fair for me to say. Watchmen, I've seen, of course, multiple times over the years, but actually probably to diminishing returns.
Mm.
Yeah.
So then is it fair to give Ghost World the vote over that? Because at one point I didn't mind Watchmen. I don't know. But there's a part of me that thinks I remember Ghost World, if I'm looking at them as movies, that Watchmen is very much, for the most part, beat by beat from the comic.
Mm-hmm.
And Ghost World is a better, more original movie adaptation of a comic book world. So I'm going to give it to Ghost World.
Right on.
I'm a Snyder fan. I didn't say Snyder bro. I said I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I'm a huge fan of him as a director. I like his visual choices. I like his palette. I like his style. I like his storytelling. I like visceral moments, and I think he captured them very well. Ghost World, very young Scarlett Johansson. Is that
Yeah,
this
and,
movie? Okay, cool. I watched it, but I truly enjoyed Watchmen, and I'll also throw in, I guess, a caveat to this whole thing. Can we include the Ultimate Watchmen, which also has Black Freighter as a part of it? Is that considered part of the film,
no, it's
or is
gotta
it
be-
just theatrical?
Just
Theatrical.
theatrical.
Yeah.
I'm still going
Yeah.
Watchmen, but Watchmen is aided a lot by adding in that. So if you can watch a version, watch the Ultimate version, and try and take social shit out of it and just watch it as a movie. Don't go into it thinking like these are what these Snyder bros like. Just watch it.
I think Watchmen is agnostic of the whole Snyder Bro movement. I was just joking. It didn't really kind of start until the further DC adaptation. No, the toxicity of it didn't start until like the
I have no control over that.
fuck yourself. Anyway, I really enjoyed Watchmen. I personally think Zack Snyder is better when he's working from other people's material. Because he is an incredible visualist.
Mm-hmm.
I love his aesthetic. I don't love when it gets super serious or self-indulgent. However, The Watchmen lends really well to that. So I did like it as a movie. And I'm a big fan of adaptations that do different things. Like, I still have the book. I'm glad that you're servicing the book as strictly as possible, but changing the ending the way that they did, I actually really liked. I think it made more sense in the narrative. However, Ghost World's a better movie. I'm gonna go with Ghost World because that movie that was another one where the performances were fantastic, and it's one of those movies where it's like, oh, this is a comic book, and it led me to a world of seeking out independent comics. I probably would not have. If it wasn't for movies like Ghost World and American Splendor, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to find things that aren't big too. So I'm going to give it to Ghost World. But it's close. Yeah.
I have seen both of these, but like Len, I saw Ghost World so long ago, I don't really remember it. I just remember thinking it was cool and like it being a movie that kind of I had this memory of for a long time. It was like, oh, that was cool. I think Watchmen is a phenomenal adaptation. It handles that source material really well. Although I think it's a weaker story with the change. Because I think it's interesting that it wasn't an actual threat. That, like that's a very interesting part of that story, that they have good reason to be worried about Dr. Manhattan, but Ozymandias in the original wholly creates this world drawing together threat. So, but it didn't destroy the movie. That was one of my favorite parts of the comic, that twist. And I very much agree with you. Like, his aesthetic is excellent, and it really works well for Watchmen.
Oh, the first 5 minutes of Watchmen is better than some movies.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
So
That's cool.
it's wonderful.
Yeah, handles Dr. Manhattan well, as I recall, and I'm gonna vote Watchmen.
Billy Crudup.
Yes,
Yes.
this time, yes.
It's Campbell Scott actually.
Billy Crudup and his blue dick. Yeah, I'm definitely going to Watchmen. That was my joint, man. I was like, I was sitting there watching, like, wait a minute. I'm reading. I watched it at home, and I took the book out. Was like, yo, he went full. All right, dope. Yeah, no, I enjoyed the heck out of that. I did. I do think you're right. I wanted a big purple monster at the end, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I got it back in the TV show.
I was gonna say the way that the show,
And that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Good rain.
Yeah.
That's where I would go, because to me, like, as much as I did like Watchmen, like I said, it was diminishing returns. Once the HBO series hit, I don't need Zack Snyder's.
That's true.
With all due respect, I don't need his anymore. I've got the book, and the book takes me directly into the series, spot on, and in a even more enriching, satisfying way.
that show was fantastic.
Yeah,
It really was.
Yeah.
What next?
Well, the next matchup, Randy, is Bloodshot from 2020
Oh no.
Okay, and the winner is
versus The Mask from 1994.
Well, there we go.
There we
That's
go.
easy. The
Bye.
Mask all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Did you see Bloodshot?
I started watching it, and it was like, I want to see the end of it, but it's nowhere free, and I'm not paying for it.
You're right. You know what? I hate Sony for that. Like it's only ever like on Stars
Yeah,
or
and I'm like,
who the
I'm
fuck
not,
has
I'm not paying
Stars?
for that movie? And not to mention
Powers
the
on
fact,
Stars.
The Mask introduced me to Cameron Diaz,
Yeah.
Oh yes.
and that
Yes.
just that first shot of Cameron Diaz, and I was like, what in the oh my god.
I'm wondering, audience, whether or not that loud whistle from Boy Dylan was audible on air with the mention of Cameron Scott.
It just became Man Dylan.
He's been hanging at the Coco Bongo.
Yeah, dude. But and Jim Carrey, dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, that dude was born for that movie.
Yeah.
I guess
Here you
that-
go.
Yeah.
Also, height of his powers, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He killed that. That was definitely The Mask. That's an easy one.
I did
Seen
not see
neither.
Bloodshot. That probably wouldn't matter. The Mask is an amazing movie. It was from a time when I turned up my nose at any non-Marvel or DC comics, right, or almost any. And I never read the comic, but just the idea that they were making a comic movie, and it was like, oh, this is a comic too. That's pretty cool. And there was a very strong. Shit, what's his name? No, I can't think of his name. The animator with the wolf.
Tex Avery.
Tex Avery.
Avery.
That's what I
Very
was gonna
strong
say.
Tex Avery stuff, and similar to Dick Tracy, the yellow suit, and just the bold colors, that kind of thing. And also, yes, the Mask is cool. Jim Carrey doing the Mask stuff is very cool. He was in many ways born to play that film or that role.
Absolutely perfect.
I have got to go Mask.
This was another movie I was obsessed with. Bloodshot, that is. No, I did see Bloodshot. It is it's like a B-. It's a solid action movie
Yeah.
because the special effects at the end are actually really good.
Yeah, I want to see it, but I'm not.
But it's ultimately a dumb movie. But The Mask, it was another movie I was obsessed with. I cut it out of the newspaper. It was a full color ad this time. I love this movie. I wore the VHS out. I, as like a 1994, I was 12, 13. I looked up the comic book afterwards because I was so obsessed. It's nothing like the movie.
Nothing.
It's
Like,
like one of
Stanley-
one of the people that gets
Yeah.
the mask is kind of like
Stanley-
the Jim Carrey one, right?
Stanley Ipkiss is the
It's
first
the first
one,
one.
and he
Okay.
just murders a bunch of people and then gets murdered.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
And then there's a lady mask.
yeah.
Oh.
His wife, his very unhappy
Women
wife.
can wear
I
the
think it
mask
is.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Women. But honestly, I think it was 2 years ago. Christopher Cantwell wrote a sequel to the comic book, Big Head Returns.
Yeah.
And it was very good.
Wait, he's not the one that originally wrote it, is he?
No.
Oh, okay.
I forget. But it's Doug Mahnke did the art for a lot
Oh.
of the first run.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, you mentioned the VHS. That
I
reminded
poured VHS
me.
out.
I never owned
It was
it, but
green.
I had rented it from.
No.
No, that was
It would be
Teenage Mutant
awesome
Ninja
though.
Turtles.
Turtles was green.
Yeah. I rented it from Blockbuster, and that was the first place I saw Space Coast Coast to Coast. Was like after the movie or before they had an interview
Yep.
with Jim Carrey being interviewed by Space Coast, and then it was like years later until I saw it again. But I was like, this thing is awesome. This is great.
It's good shit.
Yeah.
All right. That's-
I go The Mask like Noel. This was easily my favorite movie when I was a kid, and was for a long time. The Tex Avery thing is exactly what I was going to bring up, like the cartoons. But I'll try and say something that's not like beating a dead horse. The CGI in that movie for 1994 is fucking incredible.
Still good.
Yeah.
It's incredible what they pulled off, and it's very underappreciated.
Yeah.
They're still breaking that down. That's how like world breaking a lot of that was. Just on the Tex Avery, I will say, yeah, it's The Mask. But I I introduced this movie to my daughter, who I definitely raised as a geek. So she, like you know, in watching the movie, she wasn't as interested in going to the comic book, but she then followed up because she knew that I loved animation and we would watch cartoons together. She followed up on the work of Tex Avery, and then saw a lot of his cartoons. And Tex Avery just left such an indelible mark on her that is the reason my grandson is named Avery.
Nice.
So that's fantastic.
And
That
by
makes
the
me feel
way,
nice.
the introduction of Cameron Diaz is when all this Tex Avery stuff happens.
Yes, it is.
So bring it full
Wait,
circle to Randy's
no, he
comment.
meets her in the bank first.
No, the Mask
What
doesn't
in the
meet her.
bank?
Stanley Ipkiss meets her then. When the
Oh,
Mask meets her,
please.
that
The
arc,
heart,
I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
I still love so like I again wore it out frame for frame when his face turns into the wolf, he whistles and just the business that you do with your body as an actor, actually having to hold the mouth out here to whistle and then animate around it because down here he actually is like I love it. It's
Great
such a good
evil
movie.
mask. too.
No, don't kill me. Everybody in a row, one by one. Favorite Jim Carrey comedy?
Oh, the Mask.
Mine is Liar Liar.
That's a
Oh,
good
so
movie.
good in that.
It's a good movie. Short, shriveled, and to the left.
Also 6 months after the Mask.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He
Really?
had a good
Wow.
2 years.
93, 94, 95 was insane.
Dumb and Dumber was great. Yeah. I would probably vote Mask if you consider it a comedy. And I know there are many, many comedic elements. But Dumb and Dumber is definitely more of just like, this is a comedy movie. You know,
I reluctantly, I'm gonna say one of the Ace Ventura movies.
Then it's got to be the first one.
I know. Actually, I think I laughed more at the second one.
It's
the
in
first
the
one.
bone. Yeah.
So the
second one's
first
got
the
some
first one, I've revisited via. We recently watched the Disclosure documentary.
Okay.
You're familiar with it? Just like trans people in in entertainment in Hollywood since jump. And they examined that movie, and things that I laughed at without being able to breathe at 11 years old,
It does not wear well.
it does not wear well at all.
Yes.
So even though it's left an indelible mark on me in regards to comedic timing and just editing and how a joke can be told effectively, they're not good jokes.
They're not all good jokes.
Oh, the movie like
They were.
were.
Just to give the comedy writers some credit.
Yeah.
They
No.
were.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I'm talking about the context of the jokes. No, not the context of the jokes.
good
The
in a moral
content
sense.
of the jokes. Yes,
In
they do not.
today's world.
They
though.
do not. Well, I mean, arguably, then they were a problem. Also, we just
They
did not
did- we-
know.
I'm
they
just
were a
saying,
problem.
set up punchline.
No. I
The
think that's
rhythm's
bullshit.
right.
I think that's bullshit.
Which part?
I think that whole idea is bullshit. That's a funny fucking movie.
It is a funny
and
fucking
you know
movie.
what? That person.
But I feel bad about
that person was a fucking scumbag murderer.
I'm not.
I don't care. It was fucking funny the entire time. It was funny, and I think the idea, and I think this is a big problem that we have right now, is that regardless of how oppressed you are, have been, whatever, if your character, if that particular character is that terrible fucking person, and the job is to make fun of that person for whatever in that movie, then fuck it, make fun of them.
I think that's easy.
That's the nature of it.
I think
as a black dude in America,
Oh no.
fuck it. If you're a terrible dude and somebody's like, you goofy son of a bitch, like, go for it. I think we're trying to carry too much. That shit is funny, dude.
So what I said was, as somebody who experienced it as the funniest thing in the world, with context of today, and me not being the person that is being spotlighted in that way, someone that is telling me that's problematic for this, this, and this. I'm not downgrading the fact that I literally mentioned it as what I think is the funniest. But I have problems as a 41-year adult now reconciling that because of the correct context. Not to say it's not funny. It was funny.
Okay, all right.
What's your funniest?
Hey,
Jim
bro.
Carrey.
First-
I actually kind of, the second one,
It was
blew
it was
me
cool,
away.
But
Bumblebee
just
Tuna.
the moments,
Davidson
the
in the second
moments
one is
in the
really
first
funny.
one, like him walking through the asylum with the tutu on, like.
Have
him
you ever
snapping on Courtney Cox the whole movie?
Have you ever? I know, right? Have you
Oh,
ever
word.
walked into
Yeah.
a room and just done the?
all the time,
Yeah.
all the time.
We are over 7 minutes on this
Okay.
one.
Next.
But also, JD says Truman Show, which I don't think is a comedy. And I saw Dylan say Man on the Moon.
That's not a
That's not a
comedy.
comedy
It's a
either.
great movie.
Agreed.
but, yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you both?
So,
Moving on.
the next movies matchup: Hellboy 2: The Golden Army
Mm.
from 2008.
Who's this?
Can't believe it was.
Me? Okay.
Can't believe it was that long ago. Or Barbed Wire from 1996. Technically a comic book movie that was published
you're
first.
right. You're right.
Yes, it
Published
was.
first.
Yes, it was.
Was that Stan Lee?
No, that's the Stripperella,
Oh
Gorillas, yeah.
which never became live action.
Thank.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Barbed Wire. Pamela Anderson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, look, it's Hellboy.
Yeah, I know.
It's Hellboy. Come on. Let's keep it moving.
Hellboy 2, even if you just watch the intro.
Yeah,
that
it's true.
stop motion animation, which
Yeah.
informed the Oscar-winning
Yeah.
Pinocchio. Good job, Del Toro. Boom. Hellboy 2. Wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm obsessed with Hellboy. That's the winner. However, I do want to mention in Barbed Wire, I barely remember the plot. It's a dumbass movie, but I do remember something along the lines of having to wear certain contacts to get into something like with eye scans.
I think so.
And the character, having put in contacts my entire life, or the last like 30 years, the character has two dry contacts in their palm and just does this, and they're in. I swear to Christ, that pissed me off so much.
But it was the future. That's how contacts work in the future. You
I
just-
mean,
you
I
just
feel
face
like
all them.
eye dryness is.
Over your
I
eye.
feel like
your
eye
eye.
dryness
Yeah.
is something that transcends science fiction, space and time.
Probably.
They literally were just like two blue contacts, and the character was just like bloop. It was the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and because of that, that movie needs to be burned. Like all prints need to be burned, deleted from hard drives. We should forget about it as a form of entertainment forever.
You know, Ethan Hawke in Gattaca takes his contacts out real easy. Wait, this is a great movie, but he's like crossing the road and he goes like,
Actually,
gets him out of you. Maybe
that's possible. Like to do one of these.
and he maybe practiced this right,
Yeah.
but that movie's phenomenal. So, I like Hellboy 2. I think more than the original Hellboy,
I think
which
it's-
I also really like.
It's a stronger movie.
Yeah, I missed Barbed Wire. I'm gonna go with Hellboy 2.
I was
Definitely
busy
Hellboy
that
2.
week.
Yeah, I was.
Definitely Hellboy 2. I was busy the day it was hit
Yeah.
theaters and got yanked.
Yeah,
Well, there's another
Might as well
upset.
keep
Barbed wire.
cruising.
Barbed
Yeah.
wire loses. All right.
like kind of a surrealist
Um,
vibe almost. It's cool.
Speaking of, let's keep it on Hellboy. Randy, Hellboy 2019, the most recent iteration.
David Harbour.
David Harbour's Hellboy, or Hercules from 2014, featuring The Rock, which is based off Stuart Moore's The Thracian Wars. It's a comic book.
I
Oh, wow,
just
I didn't-
watched that yesterday.
It's
know
not
that.
bad.
It's not bad. I mean, it's The Rock, but it's not terrible. I liked what's his name's Hellboy though.
Me too.
I
Harbour.
enjoyed the heck out of that.
Hmm.
It was extra. It was a lot of just like oh goodness gracious. But no, I enjoyed that. I'm going Hellboy on that.
Right on.
I have not seen Hellboy.
You're a liar.
That one. I was interested in it, but the Hercules, I read the description of it after you guys put it in there, and I was like, "What's this?" That sounded pretty cool. It's like after all of his labors and everything.
Mhm.
So I'll go Hercules.
All right.
Yeah.
I am I'm an apologist of the Hercules film. I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
But
Hellboy all day.
it was good.
It was extra, as in it is almost unnecessarily rated R.
Yeah,
It is so incredibly violent.
yeah. It was a little
And-
gorier than I was expecting.
Yeah, we're like
but cool.
big old crazy monsters in the middle of the London street, just like picking up a pedestrian
Oh
and skinning him.
God, that shit was wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very but
forgot about that part.
it's really good. Also, it does one of those egregious things where like just random needle drops instead of score. I think like for the giant fight, it was like a Muse song,
Yeah,
which was I mean, it was enjoyable, but then it was like, all right, I mean, wouldn't mind some bombast right here, but whatever. It's a solid popcorn flick. I'm going Hellboy 2019.
I am Brian in this
Neither one?
I've seen neither one,
Oh.
so I'll do it this way. Hellboy 2019 had a better trailer than the Hercules movie, so I'm going Hellboy.
That's a good reason.
And I assume those scenes were in the movie, so what I've seen from both movies,
That's not always true.
Hellboy was superior.
They're not always. Sometimes they
Was
don't
there the
make it
old
in.
lady?
I didn't see the movie.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Baba Yaga's in
Hellboy.
that bitch. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
she was.
I actually met
She's
the old lady that he
nasty.
just talks to, like in a store.
She was also she was also nasty in that movie too.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah. The front, the BPRD front. Yeah.
That's the one.
Len.
I did see Hercules. I did not see 2019 Hellboy, but like Terry, I saw the trailer. I enjoyed the trailer
More than the full movie of
than
Hercules.
more than the full movie of Hercules, which I was bored with. So I'm going to go with Hellboy 2019.
Hellboy takes it, advancing to the next
Nice.
round.
Hopefully versus Hellboy.
I think
Ooh.
all the Hellboys are still in play.
Yeah,
They are.
They were good
Oh,
movies.
Yeah,
they
all the
were good.
Hellboys are still in
Yeah.
play. Next matchup, Len, to you. The Green Hornet 2011, featuring Seth Rogen.
Oh damn.
Or Oblivion 2013, Tom Cruise. This is a weird one.
I had no idea that was a
I
comic
didn't know
book.
that was a comic either.
It was adapted from a comic book written.
adapted.
It was an edited Tim.
Adaptament.
It was an adaptment amended from on high. It's a graphic novel adapted from writer Joseph Kosinski, who's the director of Oblivion. It was penciled and everything, but because the movie developed faster, they didn't publish it.
Well, then that doesn't count to
In
me.
all-
Published comic.
Unpublished comic in all of the descriptors everywhere,
Dude,
including
that's
the
a great name
Wikipedia
for a
pages and
comic book,
everything.
like company.
It is.
Unpublished
Unpublished
It's
comic.
even
yeah.
credited as based on an adaptation based on a graphic novel by Joseph Kosinski and the artist. So it's a weird gray area. It was actually created as a graphic novel first. Just what finished wasn't published.
Now, can you
Has it been published since then?
No, they were even asked,
Probably because
do you want to do this? And they were like,
Yeah.
well, the movie came out and the movie's our definitive version of
Yeah.
it. Maybe in a couple years we'll release it.
I think I did, just want to make sure that I saw this. Can you remind me?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. It is a desolate Earth, and he is on.
There's like orb ships.
the orb ships.
And then there's
It's
underground.
actually a
I
very
watched
pretty
this
movie.
the other day.
Looks cool.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So it's. I think it's the fine line. You can make a case for it or not, but it filled in the list. And
Wait, I have a question,
Yeah.
which may turn our worlds upside down. Is the Fountain on our list here? Because that had sort of
Oh.
a similar
no,
path
the fountain nor Noah because
the
those.
Fountain is so good.
So the fountain, not
Yeah.
pretty much all of Richard Kelly's stuff. The
Yeah.
Fountain has a adjacent comic book. Noah
Yeah.
has an adjacent comic book, and Southland Tales has a adjacent and sequel comic book.
Mm.
But none of them, the movies themselves, weren't inspired by the comic, or the comic did not come first.
So the Fountain, that's what reminded me
That's
of
a great
it.
movie.
It kind of I love
I
it.
love that movie.
The comic is also really good, and it had a weird back and forth where, like, I think it was going to be a movie, and then that was never going to happen. So it came out as a comic, but then came out as a movie. But I guess they were sort of developed in tandem rather than one based on the
Yeah,
other.
they didn't.
Yeah.
They yeah. I stress test the list with a
Mm.
bunch of other online lists, and
Sure.
those weren't mentioned.
Wait,
but
what was
this
the
one
movie
was.
this
What
was
was, yeah, I
against
was
that?
going to say the same thing. What are the two movies?
Oh, The Green
Oblivion?
Hornet
Oh.
or Oblivion.
See, all
Sounds
right.
like you've seen both many times.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure I did see Oblivion. I remember, I think it was okay, but that's not fair. However, I did see the Green Hornet, and I like Seth Rogen, but I could not stand the Green Hornet.
Mm.
God, that was just a miss for me. I understood. God bless him getting it made, but that was just not good casting.
Was that Kevin Smith?
No,
No, Kevin Smith didn't.
he did the comic, which was actually pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
actually
He's
on.
doing the animated series too. That's coming out.
Oh, there's an anime.
If it comes,
That,
out.
yeah,
Announced
that
like
casting
2
was
months
weird
ago.
though.
I'm
Or
on
2
the-
Why
days
would
ago.
he be the Green Hornet?
I'm well.
Yeah.
Because he lost weight.
Yeah,
He did.
He worked out
Yeah.
for it.
I got to go Oblivion because I really do not like Green Hornet.
Green Hornet had a cool car and a great Kato,
Yeah.
but Oblivion is a better film.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just kind of keep sticking to that gun because I think
Yeah.
that's the important thing.
So I'm gonna vote for Oblivion, but I want to say I did really like the Green Hornet for what it was. Michel Gondry made a really cool movie, but it
Oh.
wasn't really a. It was weird. David Harbour, the villain, in that movie.
Yeah.
But also I love the Green Hornet for selfish reasons. When I was doing comic reviews forever ago for Broken Frontier, Dynamite used my blurbs for their hardcover collections
That's
for the
awesome.
Kevin Smith stuff, and I
Wow.
still have them.
That's really cool.
Of course, it doesn't say my fucking name. It just says the
Yeah.
website. But still, I'm
Oh,
like, that's
haters.
me. I know
You
that's me.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's about it. But Oblivion gets it. I love that movie.
You could legitimately sign a copy of that hardcover, right? For some
I-
fan.
and
Yeah.
people will probably. I'd have to pay somebody to take it.
It's on the
Probably.
Patreon.
Yeah, because
I'll tell you what. If you pay me, I'll take it. Oblivion looked like a really cool movie. Green Hornet also looked pretty good, but strange casting. And Oblivion looked like a cool sci-fi, kind of a weird film. I'm gonna go Oblivion.
Yeah, I just watched that again the other day. That shit was kind of dope, actually.
Mm.
It was pretty fire.
the score for Oblivion's really good too.
Yeah. yeah.
M83 does it.
Also, it is a weird, cool-looking sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
it's dope.
I'll put that on the list.
It's good.
Next
I
next
liked it a
year
lot.
when we do this, let's just have Brian choose between the movie posters.
well,
bad idea.
what we should do is we should literally just
set up for it.
the first round is have you seen these, Brian? And then we'll just
Yeah, we'll go from there.
Let's just do Brian's commentary tracks, but not show him the
Not
movie.
showing the
Sounds
movie.
great. I feel like a lot of tests I took
I
in high
think
school.
this was about.
No, what we do is we put Brian in a sealed room, and then we just have bets on which movies we think he's seen. Then come in, and we'll see who wins.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have no problem with that.
Why do I
Done.
have to leave the room for this?
it's got to be a soundproof room. You don't know how we vote, and then
Oh,
Yeah.
and you don't
Whoa.
already know the movies.
Yeah,
All right.
dude, we can take
All right,
this on.
let's do it.
That Park's online, dude. Let's get it. Get this
Okay.
paper.
Where did we end up? Was it
Oblivion. Yes.
So the next matchup, I feel it will be a difficult one. Mystery Men from 1999.
Whoa.
That's a comic book.
Yes.
Yeah, Flaming Carrot.
Oh,
Or
Hmm.
two
Two Guns.
flaming carrot. Like I
Two
can-
Guns from
Flaming Carrot
2013.
was the-
Oh, Two Guns was
the
my
comic
joint.
book with a
I
character who
love
actually
Two
was
Guns.
a flaming-
Oh man, I liked Mystery Men, but Two Guns was my. That was just on the other
Oh,
day.
it's against Two Guns?
Yo,
Is that Denzel?
I told you this
love
might be
Yeah,
hard.
Mark
Two
Wahlberg.
Guns.
Yeah.
Yes, Two Guns was my joint. I love that. The two of them. Oh God, that was the most testosterone fueled movie ever. That was my joint. I'm going Two Guns. I love that shit.
Which one have you seen? Or how about wait,
don't
hold on.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen each one of these?
I don't think I've even heard of Two Guns.
Oh.
But Mystery Men was amazing, right? I love that movie. And speaking, as we did for The Mask, of a comic movie coming out in a time before,
Yeah.
comic movies really took off, it was like this like cool thing that came, like they're doing
Yeah.
this superhero kind of movie. Hank Azaria is great. Paul Rubens,
Bill
Ben
Macy.
Stiller, Jerry. Wait,
Eddie-
who's that? Which guy's
William
that?
H. Macy.
William H.
William H.
Macy.
Macy. Oh, I
Shuttle
didn't know
us
you
to call
know
him Bill.
that well. And Janine
Janine
Garofalo.
Garofalo.
Yeah.
Greg Kinnear.
Greg
Kel-
Kinnear does
Kel
a
Mitchell.
great job.
Kel
That
Mitchell.
was in that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Eddie
that
Izzard.
movie was amazing, and it's so funny the what they do with superpower characters, and I might easily have been pissed at that movie because it's like, oh, they're not taking it seriously, but it was done so well, and like we were in it. I'm gonna go Mystery Men.
Yeah, Mystery Men. I adore that movie. I loved that it was it came out a year after. Let me look at what is it, 96? A year after Batman and Robin. Let me look at it. No, 99. Yeah, a year or two after Batman and Robin. So I loved the fact that the movie's aesthetic was the awful neon Joel Schumacher version of things.
Yeah.
And it, as a joke, that was awesome. And the movies, if you've watched it recently, it's actually really transgressive and really, really funny. The way that they treat superheroes.
Yeah.
It's way before its time.
Yeah.
And I still love that movie.
I remember not liking Mystery Men. I keep hearing this feedback over and over and over that people like it. The jokes didn't hit for me when I saw it. I was expecting more, maybe. So I really didn't have a good time with the movie when I saw it.
He can turn invisible when nobody's looking.
I know, but it's in the
It's
trailer,
hilarious.
and it's in
I
the
don't
trailer.
remember the
So the
trailer.
whole joke's kind
Ben-
of there.
Ben
the
Stiller's
unlimited
power is
rage.
getting
angry.
angry.
I get it, but I
It's
don't
very
think the movie
angry.
itself.
He shovels better
Is
than
as fun as we think it
anyone ever
is.
shovels.
Dane Cook is in it as the waffler.
Is he?
Waffle
I forgot
Man!
about that.
Yeah,
I hate Dan Cook.
Me too.
Everything that I am.
He
it
ruined
it
for me.
didn't
gonna
work.
push him off of stuff.
The movie just didn't work for me.
Mm.
Sorry. I know that, and every time I read it, it's like I don't understand this.
I just got it on 4K. Do you want to borrow it?
I do.
There we
Okay.
go. Yes.
I don't have a physical media player though.
Well,
No,
fuck
but you'll
you.
just look at the
I'll take digital.
at the
Fuck
disc.
That's all Brian does.
Yeah.
Seriously. I
I like
should be-
best about it.
I also
Very
love
silvery.
I also love Two Guns, especially Paula Patton.
Quick
but-
question: Is Tom Waits in that movie?
Yep.
Is
Yes.
he really?
He's like the supplier of gear or
Yes.
something.
No, he's kind of like
He's got a lab coat and glasses.
he's like the.
And crazy hair.
He does. Yes, he does help them get gear. Like he does give.
Oh,
them,
that's
like,
right,
new
right, right,
suits
right,
and
right,
stuff.
right.
But you meet him picking up Strange at a retirement home ball.
Good. I'm a
Yeah.
big
That's
fan
his first scene.
of him. I think it might have been the age I was at when I saw it, but it just things might have just flown over my head. It's Denzel Washington in a hat with a gun.
Yeah.
Two guns.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Boy, this is a
What-
tough
what is
one,
it?
man. Because
Yeah.
Two Guns is a lot of fun,
It is
And-
super fun.
and you could tell Denzel is having a ball
Yo,
in
right?
this movie.
Yeah.
It's the
right?
it's
Yeah.
I know he's done action movies since then, both Equalizer movies and a bunch of other stuff. But Two Guns is like the last action movie where he is brawling,
And wearing a
not
hat.
just like strategic cool
Yeah.
guy, but
Yeah.
like
Mm.
brawling,
Mm.
and it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But
It is.
Mystery Men.
It's so much fun, but man,
Yes.
Mystery Men when Ben Stiller is on top of that car, just raging, and then all he is doing is just trying to get the hood ornament off. I could watch that 800 times in a row, man.
I still am a giddy child at the end scene when the Blue Raja
Yes, the blue
is throwing forks for him to climb up.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes, Mystery Men. It's Mystery Men.
And
It's also
Mr.
one of
Man-
my favorite hot girls from the 90s is in that movie. Don't know her
Who's
name. But she was later in a commercial for Tennessee whiskey.
Fantastic.
the nameless
I don't know her name.
whiskey
She was
lady.
a hot
It'd
lady.
be easy to look
She was
up.
in a movie with Freddie Prinze Jr. too.
Okay.
That narrows it.
Yeah, we're
She had an-
triangulating.
She might be
Listen,
Irish.
I feel like all
No.
of these
She had an Irish accent in the
people might be
commercial.
Irish.
all of these pieces of information are narrowing it down to maybe a couple thousand.
Yeah.
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 What was the vote?
Oh, Mystery
It's
Man.
Mystery Man.
You
Mystery
won
Man
Mystery
took it.
Man.
Yeah.
Squeaked
Split
it
vote.
out.
All right. Next one we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So
Okay.
let's roll.
Sure.
Keeping it with you, Len. We've got Red from
Oh.
2010
Mm.
or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2014.
Oh,
The
that's
Michael Bay
tricky.
era, the Platinum Dunes era.
Ooh, I actually saw that one. Did not like it.
Hmm.
Did not like it.
So a vote for
Toe.
Turtles?
Toe. But Red was sneaky fun.
Yes.
Red was sneaky fun. And probably the last real Bruce Willis
Hmm.
on camera.
Mhm.
And I always got room for John Malkovich.
Yeah.
And it's Helen Mirren
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren and Morgan Freeman.
and Morgan Freeman.
And Brian Cox.
Yes.
And
yes,
what's the
yes.
Mary Louise Parker?
Mhm.
Also
Yes.
excellent.
Oh,
Yes,
my
yeah,
God.
so
I love
Red.
her so much.
Yeah.
Red all day.
I'm going to go Red
I
in
am
the interest of time.
I am also gonna go Retired and Extremely Dangerous. It is as good as Red 2 is bad.
Oh, is Red
I would
too
say
bad?
it earned a sequel.
It did earn the
sequel.
sequel.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was not.
Certainly.
They just didn't.
Oh, that's a
you know.
shame.
Certainly.
I didn't see the sequel, but I did see Red, and I thought it was phenomenal. I loved it. Didn't see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but yeah, Red is just such a like this out of the way niche concept
Yeah.
that they pull off in a really fun way. So I go Red.
So
Very different from the book.
Warren Ellis, Cully
But-
Hamner.
Yeah.
Eh?
Hmm.
Oh my God, I love that book. But yeah, no, Red. That movie's dope.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can do that. I watch that.
It was
all day.
simple breeze through.
Solid
we
Bs
go.
are easy.
Next one, Bulletproof Monk from 2003,
Hmm.
or Men in Black 2
Hmm.
from 2002.
I gotta go Men in Black too. It was, you know, what I mean, it was still Will and Tommy Lee Jones. They were still dope together.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
What about her?
Rosario Dawson was in it too. Yeah.
And isn't that Michael Jackson?
She makes everything good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
one with
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right.
Yes. Mike
Yeah.
was in it. I forgot
He
all
was
about that.
M. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men in Black too.
wanna be in a black
yeah.
suit.
The other Bulletproof Monk? Didn't say it, but Men in Black 2 is great.
That's a great
I really enjoyed it. Maybe not quite as much as the first one, but maybe exactly as much as the first one. Like it was really enjoyable. One of the better sequels to a movie out there. So Men in Black 2.
So, Bulletproof Monk, I've watched a couple of times. I think I actually own it on DVD. On paper, it should be amazing.
Yeah.
It's a mortal monk teaching an orphan how to protect magic from super Nazis,
That's important.
and it's cool, but it just does not hold up, and it's really terrible. Like even Chow
Book
Yun
was
Fat,
cool.
Chow Yun Fat's charisma can't save it
Yeah.
really forever.
Yeah.
In America, it can't.
n-
That movie made a buttload of money.
Oh,
I-
good?
yeah. It's just I watched it recently, and it's just it doesn't hold up. It's the worst wire work. It just doesn't hold up. Men in Black 2, though, not as good as the first one. It's just such a stylish, fun movie. It compared. So I'm gonna go Men in Black.
I'm actually going to go similar to you. I thought, it came out after Crouching Tiger.
Oh yeah.
You can't be worse at Crouching Tiger
Right.
after Crouching Tiger has set
Right.
the standard. You
Yeah.
just hire the guys that did the Crouching
Yeah.
Tiger stuff.
Yeah.
It's the only way to make it work. Or you go Tony Jaa the complete other way and
No
get really
wires at all,
visceral.
yeah.
Men in Black 2, I like I think our villains are miscast, and I think that movie would have been much better. Just change the cast of the villains. Knoxville's got to go.
I always heard
And
that. I completely
what's her
forgot
name?
about
She was in Wayne's World. She's
Lara Flynn Boyle.
Yeah, I think if those two go,
That's
all
right,
of the
yeah.
all of the heroes are great. The hero
Yeah.
story is great.
Yeah.
Pulling Tommy Lee Jones.
I don't even remember who the villains were. Like,
And
remember
I
the
like
main
that
guy.
Yeah,
Will
I
in
didn't
the
think
beginning of
about
that movie, Will Smith interacts with someone from his previous life, and they explain how that's such a no-no
Yeah.
to
yeah.
do.
right.
And then that's what jettisons the whole Tommy Lee Jones thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's great. They expanded the lore, but the villains are weak in that movie. Leguizamo's still great as the pug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody's mentioned Tony Shalhoub.
Oh, he's always great.
He's always, yeah.
Tony Shalhoub is
You know how
That's
much
right.
that stings?
Yeah.
enough of a reason just to vote for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Men in Black too. Let's keep it moving.
No love for Bulletproof
Have you
Monk.
seen Scooby-Doo the movie? It was funny. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
Freddie Prinze Jr. was in that movie. I
He
think.
was.
He was suggesting maybe that girl was in that movie.
Oh, I love Scooby Doo.
I don't know.
No, because his wife was in that movie, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
There was more than one woman in the movie.
No.
So no, Linda Cardellini,
Cardellini.
she's a Beyond Woman.
She's in a bikini.
So the next matchup, Richie Rich from 1994
Oh my goodness.
or Judge Dredd from 1995.
Oh my god,
That's actually hard.
that is hard because it's two pieces of shit.
Hey, they're both charming in their own way.
Yeah.
Richie Rich is actually not that bad. John Larroquette is a bad guy. He's awesome.
Listen to me very
Oh, is
carefully.
he?
Richie
Listen
Rich
to
very
me.
carefully. I've known this man for almost 15 years now. I've never seen him naked, but it wouldn't surprise me if he had a Richie Rich tattoo on his ass. If he's telling you that Richie Rich was a bad movie, it's a bad movie.
Oh no, I that's fair. I'm just saying, like John Larroquette was cool.
John Larroquette is
He's
always
always
cool, but he's not cool in the Richie Rich movie because the Richie Rich movie is a piece of shit because it's not Richie Rich. I've yet to see a proper adaptation of Richie Rich done in animation, done in live action, done on television. There has not been a proper Richie Rich done. So no,
Judge
I
Dredd?
don't like Judge Dredd from 1995. I can't stand that fucking movie. But it is better than Richie Rich.
Told you.
Clip it.
Told you.
I can't stand.
Write down the time code. Write down the time code. That's a short.
This is the part of the bracket where you have to pick your least favorite anger or your favorite worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I'm going to move to my right and say
Is it warm right here?
Richie Rich because of the moon laser.
That was kind of cool where they redid the mountain.
Sorry. I didn't even know it was a comic first. Sorry.
You were a kid
Really?
when you saw it. I
I was a
understand.
child when I saw it also.
Yeah.
1994. I was 12, 13. I'm going to go Judge Dredd because of Armand Desante. Facts.
I was just about to say that.
He owns that movie. Him and his robot friend.
Yes.
Coolest damn thing in the world. I'm going to watch it
Yes.
when I get home. The only thing that ruins this movie is Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, no, hold on.
He's the
Only?
worst.
No,
No,
not the only
no,
thing.
I like legit.
I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
That does nothing. You
It's
don't bump
Stallone.
up
I don't
against
care.
that?
It legit has so many cool 2000 AD things that they just squeeze in. The cyborg cannibal hillbillies, the
Yeah,
giant
dude.
robots, the
Yes,
mega city
man.
stuff. It is a very pretty comic book movie for 1995. It's just silly as fuck, and
Yeah.
it's not better than. It's nowhere near better than the new Dread, but it's an incredibly rewatchable movie for me.
Yeah.
No.
I always thought Judge Dredd was really stupid when I was younger and didn't understand what it actually was. You know, that it's not like really in favor of these behaviors and whatever. It's not over the top, or it's over the top for a reason. Richie Rich, also very cool. Len was so against the Richie Rich movie. I gotta go Judge Dredd.
Armand Desante.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Dread. I loved that movie when it came out, and the thing I liked about that more than I like about the new one is just that they have all of that extra stuff, like the hillbilly cannibals and all that kind of stuff. Like the newer one is, more interesting in its violence, but I think they went broader in the world.
I remember that the opening credits actually
Well, you're right. They
has
did go broader.
comic book pages.
Yeah.
That's the first time any movie's ever done that. Like, actual 2080 comic book pages were shown during the opening, like, Max von Sydow voiceover. I'm like, this movie's weird.
Oh yeah, Max von Sydow was amazing in that.
Yeah.
all
Goes
right.
and walks the earth with, like, the cool duster jacket and a giant gun.
Yeah.
I'm watching that tonight.
Thanks.
First of all, I want y'all to be careful with your mouths because y'all voting for Judge Dredd, not Dredd, because Dredd is the newer movie.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd. Make sure y'all saying
Dredd won earlier.
He said no, but he said Dredd. It's Judge Dredd because Dredd is something different, as you alluded to. Now,
You're right.
if you ever read the book, the 2000 AD comic Judge Dredd, the movie, actually fits the aesthetic of the comic more.
Oh no
and
question.
the reason they don't
I know
go
that.
as broad with it into the world, into the universe, and they made a choice, was because they didn't want to go there with the first movie.
Yeah.
They wanted
I
hoped
get that. I
to
get
hit
that.
it out the
I get that.
box, establish who Dredd is for the first time, because he wasn't Dredd in Judge Dredd, because that was Judge Dredd. Give you a real Dredd, and then give you the Dredd world in the hopeful sequels, or hopefully maybe the series to come. But now the series ain't going to come because boys want to hit with boys. But that's why that happened that way.
Yeah, but I think I agree with you. Judge Dredd does a better job with 2000 AD.
Yeah.
Whereas Dredd nails fucking Dredd.
Yeah, no question.
And
no question.
in some ways, I think in some ways the reason it's in that building, obviously I'm a producer, I know. But
Yes,
but
but-
two, Raid just came out. Like the Raid just came out, and the
Yeah, they
Raid
were
2.
trying to get a little bit of that.
So just stay in, one guy getting up the stairs.
I
I
have
love
read
that
so
concept
many-
of a movie.
There's been like some contention
But
online between those two movies because
Urban's
both of
amazing.
them were being developed at the same time. It's almost impossible for them to have copied each other. However, Raid came out first, even though Dredd was being developed earlier.
Yeah.
It's just insanity, but both are awesome.
But
That
this,
happens all
I,
the
I
time,
love
though.
a
Yeah,
script
something
of
in
so
the
many
air,
human
right?
ideas.
I
Yeah,
love a
yeah.
script of I'm a guy, I got to get to the top of this building.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Great
too,
script. Just keep making that movie.
Judge Dredd, the Stallone Judge Dredd, came out in a world that was afraid to have a character in a mask.
No, that's true.
Now,
Or a movie star
Or a
who
movie
didn't
star
want to
covered.
be.
well,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
actually, I think
So the movie star's
nowadays,
the reason the movie gets made.
I think nowadays
Yeah.
between like, every comic book movie, Dredd itself, Mando, you don't need
Yeah.
to have your
If I'm
character.
Stallone, I'm
Bullshit.
remaking it.
Bullshit. You watch anything in the MCU, and you give anybody the slightest excuse, you're like, "Oh, let me take off my mask." real quick."
It's true.
Every
Yeah.
time,
Yeah, the
every
MCU.
time.
But it's you know what? It's not. I mean,
Every
they do flick them off
They
every,
get
way
bad at
too
it.
much.
It's
But
like, can y'all stop? We know it's you, Tom.
I will say though, like it's not as, for some reason I still feel it's more egregious in like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies where it gets so tattered that it's just like a line on his face of cloth.
Oh, that's a
Oh, that's
classic.
a classic image, though.
But it looks so uncomfortable.
But I
for-
also love
and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
eye,
You're saying?
his actual eye's down here, but the eye is up here. It's just stop. Just take it off.
All right, we got to
Anyway.
move.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Two more. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen from 2003, starring Sean Connery.
In his final role.
Calls him
Last
to
movie.
quit acting,
Yeah.
as he has said.
Also, the director stopped directing.
Really?
Yeah. Stephen
Really,
Norrington.
that was his last movie.
Stephen Norrington has not made a movie since.
Well,
I
that's
think.
Wow.
because Alan
Or
Moore
maybe-
put a curse on him.
Maybe one movie since, but it was like a small direct video.
Wow.
Or Extraction 2020, Chris Hemsworth.
That's a comic book. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Comic book called
Ooh.
Ciudad City.
It's something, yeah.
Crap. Because I love Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen. I love that movie. I don't know why.
Ironically or unironically?
I have no idea why I love that movie, but I do. There's
I
just
do
something.
enjoy it.
I think part of it is Tony Shalhoub not Tony Shalhoub.
That's only should
Who was the guy that played
Nemo?
Nemo. Whoever
I'll
that
look it
guy
up.
is.
You
I
keep
loved
vamping.
him. I loved Connery. Yeah, there's something about that movie that's so ridiculously bad that I enjoy the hell out of it, and I would have voted for it, except Extraction is amazing.
Really?
Yo, Extraction is amazing. Your boy Chris Hemsworth. That's the Chris Hemsworth I want to see in everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Put everything. He doesn't need to tell another
Extraction
joke.
2's coming.
God, I watched that movie like, oh my Lord,
this
this
summer.
dude is such a G. And he was getting his ass kicked the whole time and got hit by a car like 8 times. Your man kept getting hit by cars. Like, why? How are you still getting up? Extraction all day. That was my shit. God.
I like that.
I didn't see Extraction. It sounds good though.
That shit is wow, cuz.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I've definitely seen at least some of, and I love that concept of like all the different fictional characters inhabiting one reality and being pulled together, pulled together by Alan Moore. I mean, not in story. And yeah, there's just something that delights me about like that, or like the Beatles song Glass Onion, where they mention their other songs. It's what I thought Shrek was gonna be, and it was to an extent, but not as much. So yeah, I liked League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'll go League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I'm gonna go with Extraction. It is an excellent movie. Excellent in so much as it's just a really great action movie. Like, I think it's directed Hargreaves. It's directed by a stuntman.
Interesting.
So it's a lot of long shots. It's a lot of wide stuff. It's the kind of action movie that you do not have to wonder the geography of all the fights and where people are, and like it's just a really tense, good movie. It's a strong flick. I like it a lot. I'm gonna go with Extraction.
I think Extraction is the appropriate choice, but I'd like to bring something up, which is that, which is if the internet wasn't a thing, I would not have been informed that LXG is not liked, because in the theater when I watched it, I enjoyed it very much.
Oh yeah.
It is now told to me that it was bad, but my viewing that I had as a young man, I really, really enjoyed. And kind of a caveat to this whole thing is Extraction did not lead me to seek out the source material.
Yeah,
LXG absolutely led me to seek out the far superior source material. So if this game had different rules, that wasn't the best film, but was something that did more for comics or my love of comics, it would have been LXG all day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean those aren't against the rules. These are all
But what
personal
I've kind of been
decisions.
saying through this whole thing is,
Yeah, no,
what is
movie.
a superior film?
Right. You don't want to change your
Exactly.
grading now.
But I will completely say, like, if you haven't read The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, like, end to
Yeah,
end,
it's good.
hit it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The books, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, are so superior to the movie. The movie is silly. It is silly. It makes some changes from the comics. You know, definitely producers said you got to get an American in here.
Yeah.
And
Tom Sawyer, right?
Tom Sawyer,
right,
yeah.
put Tom
Which
Sawyer.
wasn't that bad.
No,
I
Yeah.
like
Well,
the idea.
it fits, but it's not in the source material.
but it's not in the source material.
Right.
And you can almost see the moment where Sean Connery says, like, "Yep, not going to do this anymore." But
that lightning bolt didn't.
but with all that being said, there's something about that stupid ass movie that I just
right,
kind of like.
exactly.
Nice.
That I kind of like,
The
man.
Invisible Man was
The
awesome.
Invisible Man he's kind of like
Nemo
running
was
around.
fantastic.
Jekyll and Hyde were dope.
Oh, I walk a different path when he says that and pulls out the sword.
Yeah.
The whole Mina Harkness, Dorian Gray thing.
I like I like that too.
It's a good bad movie.
Yeah.
And I actually like that because in the movie, as opposed to the book, Nina actually has more agency in the movie than she does in the. Not much, to be fair, but a little bit more.
I've never finished the book. Probably because I hate Alan Moore.
Well, you don't like Alan Moore,
Like, I
and I
wanna
don't think
slap
you're a
the shit
fan
out
of
of
Kevin
Alan Moore.
O'Neill, the art. 'Cause
Yeah,
the art is a
I
little.
like Kevin O'Neill because I loved his martial law.
Martial laws at work.
I loved martial law.
So-
But I just want to slap the shit out of Alan Moore.
I mean, we all have at some point.
Somebody should remake that because it should have been a hard R
Oh
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
instead of a PG-13. I bet if that idea, it's got to be floating around that someone wants to do LXG again. But if that was floating around now, I think would have got a much different movie and would have got the hard R version
Yeah.
and probably a series.
Yeah,
It'd
yeah
have been
that's
a
a
TV
series.
yeah, I'm about to
kinda-
say. It'd have been
Well,
a TV series.
I've lost track of the vote. Are you going LXG?
I'm going LXG.
Extraction still wins though.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Alan Moore the
Oh,
most
no.
represented?
Yes,
3-2.
because Randy said, no, Randy
I
went
said
with Extraction.
Yeah, I said Extraction.
You said League though.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so
3-2.
3-2. Yeah, LXG.
Now I feel bad. I want to switch my vote.
You can still.
I wanna switch my vote.
Voting is not closed.
Oh,
I want to switch to Alex G. Yep.
There, it's happening.
oh.
Is Alan Moore the most represented writer in not counting like
So-
multiple Teenage Mutant Ninja
So
Turtle
Leave
movies.
Extraordinary Gentlemen just won.
It did.
Okay, I have to.
I
override
have to
the
change my
scores
vote
here.
because just based on that conversation.
So be it.
So the next one, the last one for the evening. I doubt. Okay, you guys. No one's seen these movies.
But
So
I've seen them
Len,
both.
The Crow's Salvation, which is The Crow Part 3,
Oh, okay.
starring Kirsten Dunst,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
from 2000.
If you've never seen her before.
Short theatrical run,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly in video.
15 minutes.
Or
You finished one screening.
Random Acts of Violence from 2019, directed by Jay Baruchel,
Huh.
adapted from a graphic novel by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray.
Who's in that?
Jay Baruchel.
Skinny Canadian guy.
I actually do think I may have seen that. But I'm not sure.
It's on Shudder right now. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It's
So the movie is about a comic book writer artist, think like Tim Seeley, whose murders start to happen that are similar to his
what's in the book.
what's in the book, and then
Didn't
it
see
just
that.
kind of goes from there.
I think no, I didn't see that. I think I saw a trailer for that. And said, "Oh, that looks kind of interesting." And I didn't go cuz I was with Brian.
So obviously the Crow's Salvation is what you're saying. Banger
Jesus.
soundtrack.
Well, I didn't see a trailer for The Crow Salvation, so I got to give it to Random Acts.
Okay.
Are you really saying Kirsten Dunst went from The Crow's Salvation directly into Spider-Man?
No, the other way around. Oh wait, yeah, 2000 probably.
2000 to 2001.
She
Yeah.
she
'Cause
doesn't play.
X-Men was 99. Oh, wait. No.
She plays. I think
Spider-Man was 2000, right?
2002.
2002.
It had to be 2001 because of the Twin
Yeah, they
Towers.
were Twin Towers.
They were-
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Well, yeah,
the
but
preview,
We're in the trailer.
the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
trailer
yeah.
was the summer of 2001, and
Yeah.
then they pulled the trailer after 9/11,
Yeah.
and then it came out the following May 2002.
Even still, my God. Wow.
So Kirsten Dunst doesn't play like the main. She plays the main girl in the movie, but she's not the girl that is to be avenged. I
That's
think
definitely
she's
the
like
same year as
sister.
Virgin Suicides, though. Like, that was a great movie. Anyway,
It was good.
Kirsten Dunst hour is over.
What's your vote?
Also on Star Trek.
Huh?
Random Acts of Violence or The Crow's Salvation?
Random Acts of Violence. I think I did see half of it.
Cool. Which half?
The back half.
so I
it was
did-
the front half. That's
I
funny,
did
though.
see The Crow's Salvation, starring Eric Mabius. Mabius? Not Morbius. Mabius. Whatever.
Eric,
Yeah.
I remember. So he was on death row for the murder of his girlfriend, obviously wrongly
This was
accused.
Before, it got sold back to Snoop when Suge Knight was still had. Oh, we're thinking of a different Death Row.
Oh, Death
Yeah, I'm
Row.
thinking
He was.
Death Row
He
Records.
was on. He was
He was on
on
Death Row
Death Row
Records.
Records. Yeah, Death Row Records. The label got killed. No, he was on death row, and in the electric chair. And I remember the way that they did the makeup, the eyes, and the smile, like black makeup. It was actually burn marks because they put a mask on him before they hit the switch, which the time I thought was cool, but then thinking about it for 5 minutes, I was just like, why the fuck would they put like a metal leather mask on him when they're gonna electrocute him?
Because they used to do that.
The like a man in the
gimp
iron
mask?
mask looking thing. Like they used to
yes.
put a bag over their
No,
heads.
they
No, it's a
eventually
mask.
they moved to a mat.
Are you telling me that was real?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, well then
There you
maybe it was kind of a cool aesthetic.
Now it's your
for the
favorite
movie.
movie.
Now it's my favorite movie ever. But I do remember also the soundtrack being really cool for this movie that I played a lot. So I'm just gonna vote for The Crow. I'm gonna vote for The Crow Part 3.
I gotta go Crow Part 3.
Oh my
on this one,
God.
you guys. I think the idea of the Crow is kind of cool, and Acts of Violence is one that I may or may not have heard of before this. So
I had a crow as
Crow
a baby.
3. Yes.
These crows woke me up
Yeah.
this morning.
Crows and the
So-
bird are very interesting. They're very intelligent.
In other fiction, crows
Yeah.
themselves
yeah,
are
what
very
they represent a lot of times.
I saw this cool T-shirt that had 2 crows on it. It said,
Oh, I
"Attempted
saw that
murder."
one.
And so
I knew someone
Oh,
with
that
a
I did
crow
see that one,
tattoo
actually.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, right. No, I saw Random Acts of Violence. That shit was actually pretty dope.
Was it good?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
All right, that wins. What an upset. So,
Oh my!
We're done.
Yeah, the bracket's going along.
the
Good.
bracket's
go.
coming along. We are
All right.
now going to be on round 3 starting next week.
Sweet
Just
16.
to recap the winners
Dylan,
for
can you scroll down
tonight.
On the comments?
in contention still: Road to Perdition, Men in Black, The Losers, The Rocketeer, Cowboys and Aliens, Watchmen, The Mask, Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, Hellboy from 2019, Oblivion, Mystery Men, Red, Men in Black 2, Judge Dredd, the Stallone one, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and Random Acts of Violence. They will join the other 16 from last week in round 3, round robin style.
Interesting.
It's gonna be fun.
This is going to be good, guys.
Yes.
So, thank you for spending the last couple of hours with us. We had a really good time doing this. Join us next week where we'll be going through round 3 of this bracket to discover collectively what will be the greatest
Ooh.
comic book movie, non-Marvel DC, of all time?
All time.
I think
Of
all
all
time.
time?
It also includes
Forever?
the future.
Yeah.
Including
Yeah.
the future.
Actually, you know what? When we, funny fact, when we are done with this,
Yeah.
no other non-Marvel or DC comic movies will ever be
Oh,
produced.
That's interesting.
It kind of ends it. It's over.
They say, like, if they can get one out before 2 weeks from
Anything
now.
that is currently in
Okay.
development and or optioned
Yeah.
is allowed.
Okay.
Okay.
But it
Anything
won't
after
be
that-
better.
Yeah. So speculators, if you're picking up like random comics thinking that this could be a movie someday,
Don't.
sorry,
Yeah.
not. But besides that, thank you for joining us tonight. Len, where can the people find you?
Hey, you can find me on Instagram, BatTribble, BATTRIVVLE, and follow my podcast, The Me Show Mission, which broadcasts right out of this very studio every Tuesday night, available on YouTube.
I'm Terry. I produce some shows, and we're at the Video Content Factory. So if you own a large medical organization and need assistance filming 200-plus physicians, that's our specialty.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Brian, where can the people find you?
I'm at brianleibdesign.com. And come and check out the improv comedy show I'm going to do, Comedy on Demand, April 14th. Barley Sheep Theater, Exton, Pennsylvania. 8 o'clock is a safe bet. Yeah, please come.
8 o'clock is a safe bet. Hey, if you show up at 8, you're going to catch it.
Yeah.
Might start at 9, but you'll be there.
But you'll be there.
Randy, where can the people find you?
If you put Gangsta Grass in the internet, you will find the world's greatest bluegrass hip hop band. Go to boombaptherapy.com. You can get all of my music, get you some merch. It's amazing hip hop music because that's what I do. Yeah.
Randy, how's Gangsta Grass spelled?
Gangsta.
I mean, I know how it's spelled. I want
Grass.
They're looking it up.
GANGSTAGRASS, all one word.
Nice.
Put that in the internet.
And you could find me on all the interwebs at Mr. Bartocci, MRBARTOCCI, or wherever you find CultPop content, at CultPopGo, or email us at cultpopco@gmail.com. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think of the show. Only if it's positive, though. Also, we have some podcasts that drop weekly, fresh floppies, an audio version of this. So please stop on by and tell us how you feel.
And thank you to our special sponsor this week, Chicken and a Biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken and a Biscuit.
You know what they kind of
Does
remind
it
me
taste like chicken? Not really.
Kind of.
Have you ever wanted a chicken cracker?
of? Yeah. Keep looking. But
This is it.
It's kind of like the spices that you would put on a chicken that you are cooking.
Or
You
the
know?
spices that you would put in a biscuit.
Maybe
that
chicken
are
made
chicken
it.
flavored.
Oh,
Chicken's biscuit.
yeah. That's
And
probably-
that's why
chicken.
right?
That's why it's spelt so stupid.
Yeah.
Because the chicken
Because it's
is spelled for
scratched in
shit.
sand.
It should be like CHIKIN
Yeah.
biscuit. Chicken biscuit. Whatever. Thank you for joining us tonight.
JD, get well soon,
We'll talk
dude.
at
We
you
love
later.
you.
JD, we love you.
Miss you, JD.
Good night.
Apparently